Yes, karibuni kwa show yetu. Yeah, so I have a quick one. So kama kuna anataka kuingia aingie saa hii because we don't have like 5 hours here. I'll be here for 1-2 hours and I call it a day. So karibuni because I just want to do the biggest discussion which is being done in Kenya because I didn't get an opportunity to kuingia kwa discussion ya mchana but nataka kuingia kwa hii discussion sasa because now it looks like ni kama formula zinaanzia kupatikana na unasikia Wakenya wakiongea, Wakenya wakisema we can do this, we can do this. Yeah, so there is the biggest discussion in the town now. And there are different stakeholders and different people coming out and saying, yeah, it can be Kalonzo Sifuna. It can be Kalonzo Sifuna, but I want us to expand that discussion through interrogating na muniambie which option is good, Kalonzo Sifuna or Sifuna Kalonzo. So that is the discussion I want to do because we have been silently talking about that. And then when we talk of Kalonzo Sifuna, where are we placing Matiang'i? Where are we placing Gachagua? Where are we placing all the other actors? Ama hao watu tunataka kuwakasirisha and then they tilt to Ruto. So ndio nataka, I want us to discuss. There is a possibility of a ticket called SKM Sifuna, and I need you let me know, is that ticket better as Kalonzo Sifuna, or if it is flipped, ndio inakaa mzuri? That is our question number 1. Then question 2 is, the other actors watafanya nini to make sure that this ticket works? And are they going to get angry and they gravitate to Ruto? So that's our discussion tonight. So ningetaka you people, you brief me about that and I will be happy. So as usual, zile vitu ambazo they are going around as part of
pesa mfukoni, ukatupatia kuwa bila mifuko. Kile kingine ulituahidi, pesa mfukoni, ukatupatia kuwa bila mifuko. Kile kingine tulikuwa nacho, kigeugeu ulimebeba zote. Kigeugeu, watugeukile, kigeugeu kwenda nyumbani, watu weukile, tumeapa nitamuoja. Keta kwa Kasongo, Kaongo, wata pesa mfukoni, ukatupatia kuwa bila mifuko. Kile kingine ulituahidi, pesa mfukoni, ukatupatia kuwa bila mifuko. Kile kingine tulikuwa nacho, kigeugeu ulimebeba zote. Kigeugeu, watugeukile, kigeugeu
Kalonzo Musyoka has already chosen his running mate. The coalition has a name. And Rigathi Gachagua, he might not even be in the room. That is the explosive claim coming from one of Kenya's most controversial digital operatives, Dennis Itumbi. And it is sending shockwaves through the political establishment right now. This is not a rumor whispered in the corridors of Harambee House. This is a detailed, calculated social media offensive, and it names names. The 2027 chessboard just got a brand new piece. Before we dissect the claims, let's be clear about who is making them. Dennis Itumbi is not some keyboard activist shouting into the void. He is the head of Presidential Special Projects and Creative Economy, a man with a desk inside the machinery of power, a man who has made a career out of knowing things before the rest of us do. When Itumbi posts, it is rarely accidental.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hakuna sauti ya Kesia ya video? Ama ni mimi sikuwa nikiongea? Ama ni mimi nilikuwa naongea nikiwa nimemute hapa bila kujua? Yeah, so I'm trying to talk about this issue of Kalonzo Musyoka and Sifuna, which is now becoming epic. Na ile swali najaribu kuuliza ni, how is this ticket better? Kalonzo SKM versus Sifuna ama Sifuna Kalonzo Musyoka, or your own or mimi. So ndio najaribu kuuliza, ni vipi hii ticket inakaa mzuri? Ni sababu it's a ticket which is becoming explosive and it is being talked by everybody. Hii ticket ni Kalonzo Sifuna ama Sifuna Kalonzo. Leo nataka munipangie hiyo ticket. Nataka tupange hiyo ticket. Na then pia muniambie hao wengine wenzao, how do they take those news? Are they comfortable? Is Gachagua comfortable? Is Matiang'i comfortable? Is Natembeya comfortable? Is Eugene Wamalwa comfortable? Would they be willing to play supportive roles rather than also themselves being presidential candidates? Would it be a thing to bring a fallout? Na wengine waanzie kukimbia kwa Ruto? Hiyo ndio ile maswali nataka tujiulize. Thank you and karibu, and allow Maisha TV to talk. Thank you.
This is not a rumor whispered in the corridors of Harambee House. This is a detailed, calculated social media offensive, and it names names. The 2027 chessboard just got a brand new piece. Before we dissect the claims, let's be clear about who is making them. Dennis Itumbi is not some keyboard activist shouting into the void. He is the head of Presidential Special Projects and Creative Economy, a man with a desk inside the machinery of power, a man who has made a career out of knowing things before the rest of us do. When Itumbi posts, it is rarely accidental. In Kenyan political culture, we say, mtu akikuambia ndoto yake, sikiliza vizuri. When a man tells you his dream, listen carefully, because sometimes it is not a dream, it is a roadmap. And what Itumbi has drawn here is a very detailed map of the opposition's internal kitchen, complete with the chefs, the recipes, and the secret ingredients. The question is not whether Itumbi is right. The question is, why is he saying this now?
Itakuwa jambo la kuvunja moyo sana ati tuamke 2027 William Ruto amepita na kura 200,000 kwa sababu Sifuna alimea pembe akasema yeye pia ako kwa debe, Kalonzo akasema ako kwa debe, DCP wakatoa candidate. Iwapo mtampa William Ruto hiyo nafasi ya kurudi, tutakuwa tumewakosea Wakenya, kwa sababu Wakenya kwa kweli wanaumia, na Wakenya wametuambia wanataka nchi tofauti.
Here's the headline claim. Kalonzo Musyoka, The Wiper Party leader and veteran of Kenya's political marathon has reportedly settled on Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna as his 2027 running mate. Let that land for a moment. Edwin Sifuna, the sharp-tongued, street-savvy ODM Secretary General, who has built a reputation as one of the most combative opposition voices in Kenya today, as Deputy President candidate? If this is true, it is a masterstroke of alliance building. Sifuna carries Nairobi's urban energy. Kalonzo carries the Ukambani vote and the moral authority of a man who has waited very long at the gate of power. Together, on paper.
Planning to publish your book? You could reach 3 billion more readers. If you've written a book and you're thinking about publishing it, you have to watch this video. Hi, I'm Sarah from Spines, the fastest growing publishing platform in the United States.
That is a formidable combination. But here's where it gets complicated. None of this has been confirmed, not by Kalonzo, not by Sifuna. Sifuna has not even openly declared that he wanted to be president, not by anyone in the opposition formally. These are Itumbi's claims, and in Kenyan politics, claims without confirmation are either intelligence leaks or they are fire starters.
Even Sifuna, I want to tell you, my brother, you are a good leader. Ukifukuzwa na William Ruto, you are welcome to DCP.
Either way, the house is already smoking. Now to the alliance itself. According to Itumbi, opposition figures are not just selecting running mates in dark rooms. They are building an entire electoral vehicle and they have named it the Ukombozi Linda Mwananchi Alliance. That name is not accidental. Every syllable is political. Ukombozi meaning liberation. Linda Mwananchi, protect the citizen. This is language designed to speak directly to the stomach of the Kenyan voter, the hustler, the mama mboga, the border rider who cannot afford to gamble on the wrong candidate. Itumbi claims this coalition is intended to consolidate the scattered opposition vote under one roof, with Kalonzo's presidential declaration expected as early as August 2026, which is just around the corner. Think about what that means. If Kalonzo officially declares in August, the 2027 campaign cycle begins in earnest nearly a full year before election day.
We're trying to build a broad consensus going forward. And so when the time comes, we will address that issue.
That is not a campaign. That is a siege. And a siege, as any student of Kenyan politics knows, requires alliances, because no single party wins alone in this country. You build a coalition or you build regrets. Now here's where Itumbi sharpens his pen into something closer to a blade. He takes a pointed shot at former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, the man who was dramatically impeached and who has since been positioning himself as a political kingmaker, particularly within the Mount Kenya bloc. Itumbi's message, stripped to its bones, is this: the opposition is moving forward, with or without Gachagua. In Kenyan political language, that is a direct challenge to someone who has projected himself as indispensable. Gachagua has cultivated an image of a man who has networks everywhere, inside government, inside the opposition, inside the boardrooms and the village squares. A man whose phone calls get answered. Itumbi appears to be saying those networks are being tested and the opposition has found a way to route around them.
Makuzo, sindio? Makuzo muko. Makuzo muko. Sisi na Wakamba, Wataita, Wataveta, Mijikenda, we are one family. Sisi ni cousins. Na mimi nataka kuambia hii watu ya Kasongo. Niliona mkipiga kelele ati mimi nashikana na Kalonzo. Hata mambo ya familia mnataka kuingilia. Mtu akiongea na kasi yake iko makosa. Wewe William Ruto, keep off family matters. Wacha wewe. Usiingilie familia.
Whether that is true or not, the message is deliberate. You do not mention someone this specifically without wanting them to feel it. Ukichomwa na moto, hata vivuli vya miti inakukimbia. When fire burns you, even the shadows of the trees run from you. Gachagua, for now, may be watching the fire from a distance and wondering whether he still controls it. There is a deeper layer here that most analysts are sleeping on. Itumbi links the coalition name to existing ODM mobilization slogans, specifically the Linda Mwananchi language that has circulated within ODM-linked factions. But he also flags a contrasting movement inside the same circles, Linda Ground. These are not just slogans. These are territorial markers. In Kenyan grassroots politics, whoever controls the language controls the narrative, and whoever controls the narrative controls the voter. Linda Mwananchi signals abroad. Populist coalition play. Linda Ground is dead. So where does this leave us? Itumbi has fired a signal flare into the 2027 political sky. Is it a creation of voter apathy among Sifuna's supporters, or whether this illuminates a genuine plan or simply lights up his opponents' faces for tactical purposes?
Wale majamaa wanajaribu kushindana na sisi.
This is the game. What is clear is this. The 2027 race is no longer a future event. It is already happening in the back rooms of social media, in the choice of words and the silence of those who have not yet responded. Kalonzo has not confirmed. Sifuna has not confirmed. Gachagua has not responded. But in Kenyan politics, silence is also an answer. Watch this space, because the next move is coming, and when it does, it will not be quiet. What do you think about Itumbi's allegations? Drop your comments. Newsroom, Maisha TV, Bushebi Junior.
Yeah, nilikuwa nikisema leo nimekuwa nikiongea na majenzi wengine na wasikia hata majenzi wakisema Ruto is bad than the devil. Nataka kuwekea hiyo story musikie, because kuna watu wanasemanga I fake stories here. So let me give you something here for chill. So nataka kuwekea mjue how angry people are. Yeah, so wacha niwaekee hii na tunaendelea kumwona Rogers bado. Ndio hii nataka musikie how the devil functions better than Ruto.
Shetani hata ni muhimu kuliko Ruto. Kwa sababu shetani anakuja anakuonyesha, anakupandisha kwa mlima, anakuambia unaona zile vitu zote, mimi ukiniabudu nitakupea, anakuonyesha kabisa. Lakini Ruto anakuambia hizo vitu lakini hutaziona na hatazifanya. Kwa hivyo afadhali shetani kuliko Ruto. Shetani hata ni muhimu kuliko Ruto. Kwa sababu shetani anakuja anakuonyesha, anakupandisha kwa mlima, anakuambia unaona zile vitu zote, mimi ukiniabudu nitakupea, anakuonyesha kabisa. Lakini Ruto anakuambia hizo vitu lakini hutaziona na hatazifanya. Kwa hivyo afadhali shetani kuliko Ruto.
That is scary though. Okay, how are you, Vanessa? Yeah, so we are discussing this issue, hii kitu ambayo iko kwa mitandao. Kalonzo Musyoka, who seems now to be making inroad, is being proposed. So how better is that ticket? Many people are talking of Kalonzo Sifuna, I also met with some people who are trying to claim that maybe Sifuna anaweza kuwa kuna mtu anamtumia, so I don't know, nataka to discuss hiyo yote. Kalonzo Sifuna or Sifuna Kalonzo, and what happens to the others? Which one is better? So that's how I want us. So maybe Vanessa, I can start with you. Help me to understand. Hii ticket here, Kalonzo Sifuna is being talked too much, or Sifuna Kalonzo. Which is the best way? How should we make this ticket better, fashionable, and good? So please, kama kuna mtu ako na la kuongeza hapo, you can let me know, because I would like to. I don't. So, like, I would like to know your side of the story when it comes to that particular incident. So let's have Maisha TV. So kuna hiyo Hamisi na sijui kwa nini pia Hamisi by the way amequit Leader Mwananchi and launches new movement. That is something we will play. Sasa sijui sasa hapo na Sifuna hivyo iko namna gani? Lakini wacha tuone hii ya kustomu Mauti Kenya. Let's see. So I want us to discuss this man Sifuna. Do you think now Sifuna can actually be part of this movement, which will actually exterminate root of power? Let me first of all ask a question. Is Sifuna trustworthy?
Wacha tuone kati yenu na mimi nani atatoroka wa kwanza.
Sifuna is walking into the lion's den and is not blinking. This Sunday, June 14th, 2026, Linda Mwananchi plants its flag in Thika, the heartland of Mount Kenya. William Ruto's supposed fortress. Let that sink in. A man from Bungoma leading a movement that has already swept through Mombasa, Nakuru, Machakos, Kisumu, and Kakamega is now knocking on the door of Kikuyu political territory, and someone on the inside is already turning the handle.
Karibuni sana Thika.
68% of Kenyans don't trust their own president. 74% say this country is on the wrong road. The house is on fire and Sifuna is standing outside with a megaphone. The question isn't whether he's brave. The question is he ready?
I can feel it when you say you are Sifuna. I can feel the support. Hakuna hata kitu kingine naweza waomba.
Linda Mwananchi.
Welcome to the American University of Antigua, College of Medicine. Your
3 words, 1 movement, and right now, it is the most dangerous political vehicle on Kenyan roads. This is not your grandfather's opposition rally. Linda Mwananchi didn't sprout from one ethnic corner of the country and stay there. This movement hit the coast, Mombasa. It rolled through the rift, Nakuru. It went down into Kambani, Machakos. It filled grounds in Kisumu and Kakamega. And after Thika this Sunday, Eldoret is next on the map. Read that list again. Coast, Rift Valley, Ukambani, Nyanza, Western, Mount Kenya, Eldoret. That is not a regional movement. That is a national tour. And it's not done. Edwin Sifuna, ODM Secretary General, reformist, sharp-tongued, and sharper-minded, is the face driving this machine. Supporters like Saboti Member of Parliament Caleb Amisi aren't whispering anymore. They are shouting from rooftops, Sifuna for president, Sisi ndio Sifuna. The chant is out of the bottle. Nobody's putting it back. Numbers don't lie, and these ones are absolutely brutal. A TIFA research survey from May 2026 landed in settles like a cold bucket of water. 74% of Kenyans believe the country is headed in the wrong direction. Only 14% think things are going right, and 68% of citizens have little or no trust in President William Ruto. That is not a dip in popularity. That is a political hemorrhage cost of living squeezing families dry, punishing taxes piled on a struggling economy, youth unemployment so thick you can't cut it with a panga. These are not abstract statistics, they are the fuel that keeps filling Sifuna's rally grounds.
Kenya wanaumia. Wakenya wanaumia na Wakenya wamechoka. Ufisadi imefika level ambaye hatuwezi kuzungumza. Sasa kila kitu inanunuliwa.
Now here's where this story sharpens into something truly dangerous. Rigathi Gachagua, the man William Ruto impeached, humiliated and discarded like yesterday's newspaper, has not gone quietly. He hasn't flipped dramatically or made explosive declaration. What he has done is arguably more significant. He has openly welcomed Sifuna's Linda Mwananchi team. The door to Mount Kenya, which should have been bolted shut against any opposition advance, has a very influential hand holding it open. Think about the geometry of that moment. Gachagua carries deep roots in Mount Kenya, the very territory Sifuna is attempting to penetrate in Thika this Sunday, when the region's most prominent political sun signals that these visitors are welcomed. It doesn't just give the movement access, it gives it legitimacy on ground that no amount of rally logistics could buy. This is the nightmare William Ruto built with his own hands. The man he impeached is now the gatekeeper to his own backyard. In Kenya politics, the enemy of your enemy is not just your friend, he is your most valuable campaign asset. Ruto created Gachagua's grievance. Gachagua may now quietly help dismantle. Former Law Society of Kenya President Faith Odhiambo officially joined Linda Mwananchi. Don't treat these as a footnote. This is a headline. Faith Odhiambo is not a politician protecting a constituency. She is a lawyer with a national reputation. Stoking that reputation on this movement, her arrival signals that Linda Mwananchi is no longer just a political rally circuit. It is becoming an institutional force, legal credibility, civil society muscle, the kind of name that makes watchdogs, donors, and diplomats pay closer attention. Alfred Keter was already in. Now Odhiambo is in. The tent is getting bigger, and the names inside it are getting sharper and heavier. There is a saying in law and in politics, when the lawyers start choosing a side, they have already read the judgment. Faith Odhiambo has read it.
Sisi hatutaki kwenda Singapore, tunataka hali ya maisha iende chini. Hatutaki kwenda Singapore, tunataka walimu wachungwe kwa sababu Ruto asikii. Hii serikali nataka tuipatie red card.
Mumeonyesha heshima kubwa kwa taifa. Kisumu hamjai aibisha taifa la Kenya. Wakati wa ukombozi wa kuleta uhuru wa taifa, Kisumu ilikuwa ndani. Wakati wa ukombozi wa 4, Kisumu mtakuwa ndani au mtakuwa ndani?
Shida zetu zote ambazo tuko nazo maishani ni serikali ndio inaleta. Tunapanga laini, tunapiga kura. Tukishamaliza kura, development haikuji hapa. Alafu unaambiwa hapa, ukiniangalia ya kwamba uko katika broad base.
So Sunday, June 14th, Thika, Kiambu County, what is actually at stake if the crowds show up? Genuine Mount Kenya faces, not just supporters based in from friendly counties. It rewrites the political script entirely. It tells that the ethnic arithmetic Ruto has been banking his 2027 strategy on is actively crumbling. It signals to the entire opposition that a Sifuna-led national coalition is not wishful thinking. It is a working reality. And if Thika succeeds, Eldoret is next. That is Rift Valley territory, UDA's other stronghold. The walls will be closing in on Ruto from 2 directions simultaneously. But if the rally is thin, disorganized, or met with state force, remember the tear gas in Narok, the trucks turning, critics will say exactly what they have been waiting to say, that Linda Mwananchi is a regional movement wearing a national suit. Thika is the mirror, and mirrors in Kenyan politics are always honest, even when the reflection is uncomfortable.
They go around and say, we want Kenyans to resettle. Kenyans, everybody has a right to live everywhere and own property anywhere. Really, let's be serious. And in Rift Valley, you will find, for example, a whole 5,000 acres inhabited from people who were brought from Kiamba. And they came to Rift Valley with the same name, Kiamba. You find another place, people who came from Rurigi in Central Province. Politics are very high stakes game, like the way it is now. People are bound to fight.
Kama muko na shida na Wakikuyu, hamuko na shida na Wakikuyu kuliko sisi wa Kalenjin. Tuko na shida kubwa zaidi. Sawa sawa? Lakini ikifika mahali unatofautisha maneno, unaweka maneno ya tofauti za kijamii kando, unatafuta serikali kwanza, kwa sababu ile serikali itakusaidia kutatua matatizo ulio nayo.
Linda Mwananchi has the energy, it has the geography, coast to Rift to Mount Kenya. It has the citizen anger of tens of millions behind it. And now it has Gachagwa's open hand, Odhiambo's legal credibility, and a national tour that is not slowing down. But the anger alone has never won a Kenya, and converting rally crowds into a disciplined, unified national ticket under whichever party banner survives the internal negotiations. That is the mountain still left to climb. Sifuna is building something real. The foundation is solid, but the roof is still being nailed on, and 2027 is closer than it looks. Politics in Kenya never sleeps, and after Thika this Sunday, neither will State House. Newsroom, Maisha TV, Mesh Msembi.
Yeah, Mesh Musembi. So that is quite something. That is quite something. So Sifuna now in Thika, and you can see, I think Sifuna is one of the only politicians in Kenya who people are friendly to him in the countries. Wow, this Sifuna, this. Sifuna is the only person who people seem to be friendly. He was in Ukambani the other day. This Sifuna. Anyway, wacha tusikie historia ya Hamisi anasema ati ataondoka.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. First, go to Riverside and open an account. When you're ready to...
You know, very soon I'll start a movement. And this movement is basically to bring new people to parliament.
But I thought you already had started a movement and we're calling it Linda Mwananchi. You've just told us that you are the one who actually gave it the kickstart.
Today, June 10th, 2026, Caleb Amisi, the man who says he is the architect of Linda Mwananchi, has walked out. Not pushed, not forced. He walked out, and he's building something new. The movement he handed to Edwin Sifuna when Sifuna had nowhere to stand, he says it has been hijacked by the very politics it was created to destroy.
Si amesema ni kama hafeel Linda Mwananchi anymore. Ama nimekosea mwenye?
No. What I've said is that they have deviated from the original
plan.
So they have to come back.
And when the house burns, Sifuna is reportedly cutting deals to play deputy to Kalonzo Musyoka. Meanwhile, President Ruto is already loading his gun, vowing to flatten whoever the opposition throws at him in 2027.
Hata mimi ni Sifuna. Even me, I agree with Sifuna. Why can't we put Sifuna in Kalonzo? So Sifuna is a running mate of Kalonzo. It's okay. Because Sifuna has time to grow, learn, and become a representative. And he is not a yes man.
Kenya's opposition didn't just crack. It shattered.
Na nasema hivyo kama Mluya, sisi tunaamini chakula, lakini wewe kama ni wewe tunakula naye, wacha njaa ni uwe.
Ile yangu itabaki tu moja, itakuwa tu tutam. Arambe! Usoro umesikia? Kusema tu aende nyumbani, haiwezekani.
Hamutatutisha bwana.
To understand what is happening today, you have to go back to the beginning. Linda Mwananchi was not born in a boardroom. According to Amisi, it was born in his head, initially as Kenya Moja, a vision to assemble a new generation of reformed-minded, principled leaders who would speak the language of ordinary Kenyans, not the language of political dynasties.
Kama ulishindwa kukomanya wabunge 347, utaweza mamilioni 50 ya Wakenya. Wachekesha wewe.
Na unajua hii siasa, hawa wananchi kitu saa zingine hawajui. Tunapigana hapa na sisi tukitoka hawa viongozi tutaenda pamoja kukula.
Mheshimiwa Osoro, hakuna siku tutakula na wewe.
Amisi says he designed the early posters he assembled the team, and when he needed a face, a voice sharp enough to carry the movement forward, he went looking for Edwin Sifuna. At the time, Sifuna had just been shown the door at ODM, stripped of party positions, politically bruised. Amisi says he handed him a lifeline. He placed him at the top of Linda Mwananchi's structure and gave him a stage. That is the origin story Amisi is telling. He says the man he elevated has steered the ship of course straight into the fog of old guard coalition politics.
Now we are starting what I call a renaissance movement. What I can call people's movement. The purpose of this movement is to just ensure that new crop of leaders are elected.
Is it different from the Renaissance Party?
Hapa kuna issue. I don't know why Caleb Amisi is coming out and he seems not happy with Leader Mwananchi. So I don't know, you guys, are you happy with the Leader Mwananchi or the way they have been doing their activities? Because I think Leader Mwananchi has been moving from town to town, has been assembling people. So I don't know what Caleb Amisi, when he is saying that Leader Mwananchi has deviated from the original mission, and then he claims he is the guy who built this movement and gave it to Sifuna. I don't know. Is it genuine or he is now being used by somebody to try and show the nation ya kwamba hata Sifuna hii kitu sie hii kupendwa Sifuna anapendwa ni sababu yangu. I don't understand Caleb Amisi. I think Caleb he want to try to take glory on the fame and the name which Sifuna has built. Hata mkiona watu wanampenda hivyo, ni mimi nilimuundia hiyo kitu anatumia. I think that's what I feel. My two senses tells me either Caleb Amisi could be, anaweza kuwa kuna mtu anamtumia. Huyu Caleb Amisi huyu hata anaweza kuwa anatumika na Mr. Ng'oo. Yeah, this Caleb Amisi anaweza kuwa anatumika na Mr. Ng'oo huyu. So anaambia sasa wewe koroga hapo. No, I don't think Caleb Amisi even he needed to say this in that interview, because Sifuna movement is alive, where are the kicking and good, and the people have accepted it. So I don't understand what Caleb Amisi is saying. They have left their mission. To me, I don't get it. That's what I mean, because they have left. Sifuna ameacha mission gani? I have not seen Sifuna with Ruto. I have not seen Sifuna with Mr. Ng'oo. Sifuna tunamuonanga tu kwa watu. I'm lost.
Renaissance is a party, but me I'm talking about a movement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a movement, you know, is to move a mass of people towards a certain goal, and the goal is that I want new people in parliament.
Linda Mwananchi, as Amisi conceived it, was never meant to be another brick in the wall of Kenya's recycled opposition politics. It was not formed to dissolve into a broader coalition. It was not formed to negotiate positions in someone else's presidential ticket. It was formed to be a radical, independent, youth-driven force, and an unstoppable wave, not a tributary feeding into someone else's river.
You know, I'm telling the young people that you have a chance to mobilize yourself. Some of you to go to parliament, some of you to have, even if it is a gentleman like him, you've seen he's the best MP to come in, let him go in, mobilize for him, come and sit, come and say, I vote yes in parliament. But once the 2027 election is over, and you had a chance to elect one of your own, or the person you think is credible to go to that parliament, when the election is over, and then you get the same caliber of leaders in that parliament, do not go back to the street.
But now, reports indicate that Sifuna has agreed to serve as deputy to Kalonzo Musyoka under what is being called Ukombozi Linda Mwananchi Alliance. Let that sink in. The movement that was supposed to bury the old guard is now reportedly kneeling before it. The movement that was supposed to represent new blood is now, according to Amisi, offering itself as a supporting cast to the very veterans it was meant to replace. in Amisi's own words, and he said this today. Linda Mwananchi did not understand its initial assignment, and it has deviated from its original course. And quote, that is not just a resignation statement, that is a death certificate signed by the founder himself.
The time has come for Kalonzo to wear the shoes of Churchill. And wewe Sifuna, I want you to do exactly what Stalin did. I want you to do exactly what Roosevelt did. I want you to join the Allied forces in order that we defeat evil. Because had the Allied forces not come together again, we would not have the United Nations.
Now enter the man watching all of this from State House, William Ruto.
Hi, American parents. I am offering a free class of my best-selling math program. Here, your child will master...
Barabara hoye! Barabara hoye! Hii Kasongo najua alikuwa mtu yangu zamani. Hata saa ingine mimi namuonea huruma. Wewe nani, wachana na mimi. Jina yangu ni Ole Kasi. Ni mnaona ile ujinga iko hii dunia.
While the opposition fumbles its own chess pieces, Ruto has already declared his position. Should Kalonzo Musyoka emerge as the opposition's 2027 presidential candidate, possibly with Sifuna as his running mate, Ruto has vowed to floor him at the ballot. No diplomatic language, no room for ambiguity. Ruto is essentially telling the opposition, bring Kalonzo and I will send him home. And here is the political irony that would make even Shakespeare raise an eyebrow. The opposition is reportedly coalescing around a candidate that their own president has already psychologically defeated before the campaign even begins. They are walking into a boxing ring against the man who has already called the knockout round. Amisi himself acknowledges that plans to remove Ruto via the ballot in 2027 may already be faltering. That is why he says the focus must shift not just to the presidency, but to rebuilding parliament from the ground up.
This parliament cannot impeach anybody, I've told you. But if you have a new crop of leaders, 250 MPs in that parliament, and that Ruto comes back, there are so many impeachment grounds against Ruto.
And we can go back to his first term.
We will go back to his first term.
So what exactly is Amisi building? He calls it a renaissance movement, a people's movement, explicitly not a political party, distinct from the people's renaissance movement, sometimes associated with his name. This is something new. The blueprint, as he described it, is surgical. Elect a fresh, credible, principled crop.
Yeah, naona huyu jamaa wetu anafanyanga maopinion poll kwa mijiji. Kwa miji alikuwa anaitwa Mr. Wema. Mwema. Huyu itabidi niwaekee. Juu alikuwa Muranga. Even if his approach is wrong, let me just put it for anaitwa Mr. Mwema. Hiyo ya Muranga is a bit sporadic, so let me just huyu. Weta tusikilize ya Muranga. Labda nataka muweke reaction.
Who will the people of Muranga vote for as the President of the Republic of Kenya in 2027? We begin by eliminating the one they'll not vote for.
Kati ya Ruto, Kalonzo, Sifuna, Gachagua ama Matiang'i, yupi huwezi kumchagua 2027 awe rais wa Kenya? Mwenye uwezi kabisa. Nani? Ruto. Hawezi. Asante kwa maoni yako bro.
The first vote has gone to Dr. William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya. The first politician to get 5 votes is eliminated.
Yupi huwezi mpea kura 2027 awe rais wa Kenya?
Siwezi mpea ama naweza mpea?
Huwezi mpea hata akikuomba.
Siwezi mpea Ruto.
Asante kwa maoni yako. Thank you. Yupi 2027 huwezi mchagua awe rais wa Kenya?
Mimi siwezi chagua.
Nani?
Ruto. Asante kwa maoni yako. Even though we are moving across the country asking Kenyans who they'll vote for as the President of the Republic of Kenya in 2027, kuna wale bado ambao hatujawafikia. But I still got you. We are giving you an opportunity to vote from wherever you are through viongozi.com. Viongozi with Y. After watching this video, go to viongozi.com and create your own account as a voter, and then vote for the person you believe should be the president of the Republic of Kenya in 2027. We've already put this presidential poll on viongozi.com. Go and vote for your person. The link to viongozi.com will be in the first comment and in the description of this video. But in the meantime, let's keep voting. 2027, yupi huwezi mvote awe rais wa Kenya? Ruto. Asante kwa maoni yako. Yupi huwezi mchagua awe rais wa Kenya 2027? Ruto, Kalonzo, Sifuna? Ruto. Asante kwa maoni yako. Dr. William Ruto has gotten the 5 votes, which means he has been...
Nataka tu react mpaka hapo. Huyu jamaa, all the 5 people amekutana na wao. And I want people to understand how decided Mlima is. Forget about history ya watu wanasema Ruto ataiba kura Mlima. Hao ni watu watano, random people. Na swali, nani wezi chagua? Ruto, 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 Ruto. I can tell you, ini Mlima, Ruto hata 1% haezi pata. Hiyo story ya kusema sijui mbele wanapata kura wanafanya ati wanapata wapi. Hiyo ilikuwa wizi. I hope we can be able to gather our votes well. Huyu jamaa tunamuonesha kivumbi mbaya sana. Hiyo tu ni litmus test na kuonesha kitu. The method may not be entirely correct, but it is indicative. Inajaribu kuonesha kitu. It is true. Hii ni ground. Haya, wacha tuendelee sasa. Uanze sasa akianzia kuleta Kalonzo, Sifuna, Gachagua and Matiang'i, utaanzia kuona sasa mung'ang'ano kidogo. Utakuwa lakini ya kutoa Ruto ni chap. This one will now become more complex.
Eliminated. End of the first round. Welcome to the second round. The 4 remaining politicians, Kalonzo Musyoka, Edwin Sifuna, Rigathi Gachagua, and Fred Matiang'i, will be tied in a 1v1 battle. Kalonzo Musyoka will be tied against Fred Matiang'i, and Rigathi Gachagua will be tied against Edwin Sifuna. And the winners will face each other in the grand finale. We begin with a battle between Kalonzo Musyoka and Fred Matiang'i. 10 votes will decide on who goes home and who goes to the finals. Kati ya Kalonzo na Matiang'i, yupi unaweza mchagua awe rais wa Kenya 2027 kama hawa wawili ndo wamesimama? Matiang'i. Asante kwa maoni yako. The first vote has gone to Fred Matiang'i. Kati ya Kalonzo na Matiang'i, yupi unaweza mchagua awe rais wa Kenya 2027 kama hawa wawili ndo wamesimama? Kalonzo ama Matiang'i? Wawili wachagua. Sawa. Dadangu, naomba nikuulize swali rais tafadhali. Nakuuliza hivi, hapa Kenya, si ndio? Kenya. Kidogo tafadhali. Nakuuliza hapa Kenya, kati ya Kalonzo na Matiang'i 2027, tuseme wote wana vie for president. Who would you vote for to be the president of the Republic of Kenya? Kalonzo or Matiang'i? Asante kwa maoni yako. Thank you. Matiang'i anaosha. Yupi unaweza mpa kura awe rais wa Kenya 2027? Kalonzo or Matiang'i? Tuseme hao wawili ndio wamesimama. Matiang'i. Asante kwa maoni yako. Thank you. Excuse me my sister. Naomba nikuulize swali rahisi kabisa. Sister, nitakuuliza kesho. Kati ya Kalonzo na Matiang'i 2027, yupi unaweza mpa kura awe rais wa Kenya? Kalonzo or Matiang'i? Mimi sitapiga kura. Wewe utapiga 2027? Mimi si huko. Si huko. Asante kwa maoni yako. Thank you. Yupi unaweza kuwa kumvotia awe rais wa Kenya? Kalonzo or Matiang'i? Kalonzo. Asante kwa maoni yako. Thank you. Kalonzo has gotten the first vote. Mama anaweza kuuliza swali rahisi tafadhali? Yeah. Nitamuuliza ngumu kesho. My brother, naomba nikuulize swali rahisi tafadhali. Kati ya Kalonzo na Matiang'i 2027, nani unaweza mchagua awe rais wa Kenya? Tuseme hao ndio wamesimama, Kalonzo or Matiang'i? Nani? Kalonzo. Wow, asante sana for your opinion. Nakuuliza hapa Kenya, kati ya Kalonzo na Fred Matiang'i, tuseme hao wawili ndio wamesimama president. Yupi anaweza kuwa better president for Kenya? Kalonzo or Matiang'i? Matiang'i. Asante kwa maoni yako. Nakuuliza hivi, hapa Kenya, Kalonzo, Fred Matiang'i, wote wamesimama president. Who would you vote for? Kalonzo or Matiang'i?
Tunapatia Matiang'i.
Matiang'i. Asante sana. Mnampenda. Fred Matiang'i has gotten 5 votes against Kalonzo Musyoka, who has only 2. That means Fred Matiang'i gets 1 more vote
It's over. Tuseme Kalonzo Musyoka na Fred Matiang'i wamesimama president. Nani unaona anaweza kuwa rais mzuri wa Kenya? Acha nimuulize mzee wangu. Sawa. Naomba nikuulize hapa Kenya, Kalonzo Musyoka, Fred Matiang'i, wote wamesimama for president. Nani unaona anaweza kuwa rais mzuri wa Kenya? Matiang'i. Asante kwa maoni yako. Dr. Fred Matiang'i has gotten 6 votes against Kalonzo Musyoka, who has only...
Hey, mnataka kuniambia Mlima Kenya ni home ground ya Matiang'i? Wow. I didn't know, like, okay, wow, okay. Julia, where are you? I think Matiang'i, could it be because of Uhuru? Ama, hiyo relationship yake na Jubilee? Matiang'i anataka kukua popular kuliko Kalonzo Mlima. Alafu na niwaulize, based on this, if sasa tukienda na hii candidature yetu ya Kalonzo na Sifuna na Matiang'i sasa hako nje, what is the effect in Mlima Kenya? Are we going to have voter apathy ama wata gravitate watakuja? Unajua hii ndio ile maswali sasa nataka tujiulize, because it looks like if this arithmetic it has to go by, if Matiang'i is not the presidential candidate, what is the effect of some of the places which are more affiliated to Matiang'i? Hiyo kura inaweza enda kwa opponent ama inaweza kuaje? Those are the things I want us to start thinking critically. Okay, wacha tusikia wengine ili sasa finally tusikie grand finale.
2, which means Kalonzo Musyoka, you have been eliminated, and Fred Matiang'i, you are moving on to the finals to compete against either Edwin Sifuna or Rigathi Gachagua. End of the second round. Welcome to the third round, second to the last competition between Edwin Sifuna and Rigathi Gachagua. 10 votes will decide on who goes home and who heads to the finals to compete against Fred Matiang'i. Bro, naomba nikuulize swali tafadhali. Nakuuliza hapa Kenya, kati ya Sifuna na Gachagua, yupi unaweza mchagua awe rais wa Kenya 2027? Hapa. Kati ya Sifuna na Gachagua. Sifuna, asante sana. Wewe ni Sifuna? Asante. First vote has gone to Edwin Watenye Sifuna. Kati ya Sifuna na Gachagua, yupi unaweza chagua awe rais wa Kenya 2027? Gachagua. Asante kwa maoni yako. Dadangu, naweza kuuliza swali moja rais tafadhali. Nakuuliza hivi, hapa Kenya kati ya Sifuna Gachagua, yupi naweza mpigia awe rais wa Kenya 2027 kama wawili wamesimama? Huyo. Gachagua. Asante kwa maoni yako. Sifuna, Gachagua 2027. Rais. Rigiji. Huyu ako na wakati mwingine inakuja. Si sasa. Hiyo wakati mwingine. Ni Rigiji. Asante. Hapa Kenya Sifuna, Gachagua, tuseme wote wamesimama rais. Yupi naweza mpa awe rais wa Kenya 2027? Huyu na huyu. No, Sifuna na Gachagua. Sifuna. Asante kwa maoni yako. Nitamuuliza yule mzee anakaa DJ Afro Amigos. Excuse me sir, kati ya Sifuna na Gachagua, yupi naweza mpigia kura 2027 awe rais wa Kenya kama hao wale wamesimama? Sifuna or Gachagua? Sifuna. Asante kwa maoni yako. This is very tight. Sifuna 3 and Gachagua 3. Kati ya Sifuna na Gachagua, nani unaona anaweza kuwa rais mzuri wa Kenya 2027? Gachagua. Asante kwa maoni yako. Thank you. Naomba nikuulize swali rais tafadhali. Nakuuliza hapa Kenya, kati ya Sifuna, Gachagua, nani anaweza kuwa rais mzuri wa Kenya 2027? Sifuna ama Gachagua? Amesema nini? Amesema nini? Oh, amesema hivyo? Oh, asante. Excuse me sir. Can I ask you a quick question tafadhali? Swali kuhusu hili. Si ndio nikwambia usikie. Nataka kujua hapa Kenya kwa maoni yako, kati ya Sifuna na Gachagua, nani anaweza kuwa rais mzuri wa Kenya 2027? Who would be a better president for Kenya? Sifuna, Gachagua. Asante. Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua has gotten 5 votes against Edwin Sifuna, who has only 2, which means Gachagua gets 1 more vote. It's game over. Kati ya Sifuna na Gachagua, yupi unazataka awe rais wa Kenya 2027? Sifuna or Gachagua? Sifuna. Asante, wewe ni Sifuna. 9 votes done, 1 vote to go. Sifuna has 4 and Gachagua has 5, which means if this final vote goes to Edwin Sifuna, it's a tie, 5-5, we find a tiebreaker. But if it goes to Rigathi Gachagua, it's end of the round. My sister, can I ask you a quick question? Okay, no quick questions. Fast. Okay, what is the opposite of quick? Fast. Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you a quick question? Tafadhali. Oh, okay, sawa. Thank you for your service. Okay. Excuse me, sir. Who would you vote for to be a president in Kenya 2027? Gachagua. Thank you for your opinion. Gachagua has gotten the final vote, which means Gachagua has won this round, and Edwin Sifuna, you have been eliminated. That means it's time for the grand finale.
Welcome to the grand finale. From this list of 5 Kenyan politicians down to these 2, the former Deputy President, DCP, presidential candidate Rigathi Gachagua versus the former Cabinet Secretary and the Jubilee presidential candidate Fred Matiang'i. Who do the people of Murang'a believe will be the next president of the Republic of Kenya? 10 votes will decide.
Kati ya Gachagua na Matiang'i, nani unaweza muelect 2027 awe president wa Kenya? Matiang'i. Thank you for your opinion. First vote in the finals has gone to Dr. Fred Matiang'i. Hapa Kenya, Gachagua, Matiang'i. Wote wamesimama for president. Who would you vote for? Gachagua. Yeah. Asante kwa maoni yako. Let's just keep moving. Gachagua, Matiang'i. 2027, nani awe rais?
Mimi nataka Gachagua.
Unataka Gachagua?
Yeah.
Asante kwa maoni yako. Kati ya Gachagua na Matiang'i, yupi unaweza mpa kura awe rais wa Kenya 2027? Kama huyu Gachagua. Yeah. Asante kwa maoni yako. Kati ya Gachagua na Matiang'i. Matiang'i, hata bila kumaliza swali. Matiang'i. Asante kwa maoni yako. Who would you vote for to be the president in 2027?
Mimi yangu napea Matiang'i.
Matiang'i. Asante kwa maoni yako bro. Rigathi Gachagua 3 and Fred Matiang'i 3. 4 votes to go. 2027, yupi unaweza mpigia awe rais wa Kenya 2027, Gachagua ama Matiang'i? Asante kwa maoni yako. Kati ya Gachagua na Matiang'i, nani unaweza mchagua kama rais wa Kenya 2027 kama hawa wawili ndio wamesimama? Rigiji. Asante kwa maoni yako. Thank you. 2 votes to go. Gachagua, Matiang'i wote wamesimama. 2027 unampa nani? Gachagua. Asante kwa maoni yako. 9 votes done, 1 vote to go. Rigathi Gachagua has 5 and Fred Matiang'i has 4, which means if this vote goes to Rigathi Gachagua, it's end of the experiment. But if it goes to Fred Matiang'i, it's a tie. 5-5, we find a tiebreaker. Let's get the final vote. My brother, quick question.
Yeah.
Gachagua, Matiang'i, president 2027, nani?
I would choose Gachagua.
Gachagua. Asante kwa maoni yako. Through the powers vested in me by the people of the internet, I now declare that the next president of the Republic of Kenya, according to the people of Murang'a, is Rigathi Gachagua. Head now to viongozi.com to vote for your most preferred presidential candidate. The link to viongozi.com is in the first comment in this video. Subscribe. Who will the people of Murang'a vote for as the president of the Republic of Kenya in 2027? We begin by eliminating the one they'll not vote for. Kati ya Ruto, Kalonzo, Sifuna, Gachagua ama Matiang'i, yupi huwezi kumchagua 2027 awe rais wa Kenya? Mwenye uwezi kabisa. Mwenye uwezi kabisa. Nani? Ruto. Hawezi. Asante kwa maoni yako bro. The first vote has gone to Dr. William.
Yeah, that speaks volume. Matiang'i amekimbizana na Gachagua. So that one now takes me to our question. Because the way things look, unajua ni vizuri kukubali reality. The way things look, there is a likelihood, there is a possibility Gachagua will not be in the ballot. And if Gachagua is not in the ballot, do you think if we get somebody who people are not very appeased to, kuna uwezekano sasa watu wengine waanzie kutilt kwa Ruto kidogo? Because like based on what we are now seeing, it looks like in Mlima Kenya, Matiang'i is there is more love for Matiang'i than Kalonzo based on what is happening. So ni swali tu nauliza, ama it doesn't matter 2027, whoever will be given the mantle as the presidential candidate for opposition, people will just go to him whether they have that closer affinity to him or not. Ni swali tu nataka muniambie. Okay, Salah, that one I agree to some extent. Sifuna looks very favorable as a DP, but kuna swali nauliza, which one is better? Is Sifuna as a deputy or Sifuna as a president? Because you can also flip that ticket. Any ticket can be flipped. Nile tu nataka kuangalia the maximum utility on it. Form utility. So the one which is being talked. So nile nauliza, mi nataka kuwapea ticket mbili based na research kama hii. Kalonzo Sifuna, Matiang'i Sifuna. Aya, I'll do a poll here. Mnanisumbua sana sababu hata amujibu. Let me do a poll. Let me just do a poll. I want to get from you, from people who are here. So let me do a poll. Yeah, so I want to see from our let me do a poll. Sababu tu munakaa tu munaniangalia tu. Munaniangalia tu hivi tu. You have to be serious, eh? So let me do a poll. Where is the poll? Engage with audience. Start a poll. Tuliane kidogo. Nitaziweka zote. Kalonzo Sifuna, Matiang'i Sifuna, I need to see your thinking. Huyo ameanza ndiye presidential candidate in every option. Huyo ameanza ndiye presidential candidate. I need to see the. I will also. So you have the poll. So let's see. Okay, so let me vote. Let me vote in Irudi. Masai inataka, okay, sorry. Indigenous reason, Masai inataka Matiang'i. Even I think Kalonzo Matiang'i is also an option. Maybe 2032, because even deputy 2027, still don't see it for Sifuna. Can you give that? For me, I say nay. So let me see. So nataka muni advice. So nitaangalia hiyo poll yetu nione. Okay, Stone PK karibu sana. Our discussion today is framed based on the information which is coming out. There are some proponents who are saying that Kalonzo Sifuna ticket is a good one. Then inauliza, what if it is flipped? How would it look like? Then from there, tumeona yule kijana ulituintroduce na yeye hapa, kuna vile like Matiang'i looks good in Mount Kenya compared to, sijui kama umefuatilia huyo kijana huyo mwema. So like Matiang'i anaonekana akiwa na, he is more favorable in Mount Kenya than Kalonzo. Then kuna swali nimeuliza, in the unlikely event Matiang'i is not the presidential candidate, we have Kalonzo and Sifuna. What would be the effect of Matiang'i not being a presidential candidate, hoping that he still remains in the coalition? So the question which I'm trying to ask there also is, are we going to have a bit of voter apathy because maybe people like in Mount Kenya, they have not gotten like somebody who they have close affinity to? Ni swali tu nauliza. So Mr. PK nimekuachia. You know what is happening? That is what is in the airwaves. Sijui kama umefuatilia hiyo video yangu, hiyo jamaa alikuwa anapigisha kura hapa, ama nikuelezea vile imetoka. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, elezea Njiru. We have all the time. You see, my principle is, if you have no time for a subject, don't start it. So if we start a subject, let's have the time.
That's what I'm trying to say.
You can play the video. You can play the video, no problem. I don't think I saw I was busy. I didn't see the vote. So yeah, it's good for my information.
Okay, let me bring him. Anaitwa Mr. Mwema. Let's just have him because you deserve to be informed. Sitaki useme sikupata. Na nataka uone vile.
No, I could get that in my own time, but if for the sake of contribution right now at this moment, if you feel it's necessary, show it up.
Yeah, I will show it. I will show it. Na nataka uone mbinu ya venye Ruto anakimbizwa, Nataka uone yani elimination ya Ruto in this, because those are some of the things I want us also to monitor.
We begin by eliminating the one they'll not vote for. Kati ya Ruto, Kalonzo, Sifuna, Gachagua ama Matiang'i, yupi huwezi kumchagua 2027 awe rais wa Kenya? Mwenye uwezi kabisa. Mwenye uwezi kabisa.
John, can you see the video?
Ruto. Asante kwa maoni yako, bro. The first vote has gone to Dr. William.
A week ago, I played this video a week ago, Njiru. That's why sometimes you are multitasking too much.
Yamuranga.
Of course, we did whatever he was. He didn't say where he was, but he did all the vice presidents, unless it's something different.
No, it's not vice president. This one was for presidents.
No, the first one I gave you was anybody who was a DP or a vice president. So if it's the same guy, but now he's doing the president, go ahead and play it.
Yeah, he is doing president in Muranga.
Okay, go ahead.
Eliminated. Yupi huwezi mpea kura 2027 awe rais wa Kenya?
Siwezi mpea ama naweza mpea?
Huwezi mpea hata akikuomba.
Siwezi mpea Ruto.
Asante kwa maoni yako. Thank you. Yupi 2027 huwezi mchagua awe rais wa Kenya?
Siwezi chagua.
Nani?
Ni jamaa hii.
Ruto. Asante kwa maoni yako. Even though we are moving across the country asking Kenyans who they'll vote for as the president of the Republic of Kenya in 2027, kuna wale bado ambao hatujawafikia, but I still got you. We are giving you an opportunity to vote from wherever you are through viongozi.com. Viongozi with Y. After watching this video, go to viongozi.com and create your own account as a voter, and then vote for the person you believe should be the president of the Republic of Kenya in 2027. We've already put this presidential poll on viongozi.com. Go and vote for your person. The link to viongozi.com will be in the first comment and in the description of this video. But in the meantime, let's keep voting. 2027, yupi huwezi mvote awe rais wa Kenya? Ruto. Asante kwa maoni yako. Yupi huwezi mchagua awe rais wa Kenya 2027? Ruto, Kalonzo, Sifuna? Ruto. Asante kwa maoni yako. Dr. William Ruto has gotten the 5 votes, which means he has been eliminated.
Go ahead, bwana Jiru.
Nilikuwa nikitaka kwanza to react kwa elimination.
No, Jiru. Is that the way you teach if you are to go back to class?
End of the first round. Welcome to the second round. The 4 remaining politicians, Kalonzo Musyoka, Edwin Sifuna, Rigathi Gachagua, and Fred Matiang'i, will be tied in a 1v1 battle. Kalonzo Musyoka will be tied against Fred Matiang'i, and Rigathi Gachagua will be tied against Edwin Sifuna. And the winners will face each other in the grand finale. We begin with a battle between Kalonzo Musyoka and Fred Matiang'i. 10 votes will decide on who goes home and who goes to the finals. Kati ya Kalonzo na Matiang'i, yupi unaweza mchagua awe rais wa Kenya 2027 kama hawa wawili ndio wamesimama? Matiang'i, asante kwa maoni yako. The first vote has gone to Fred Matiang'i. Kati ya Kalonzo na Matiang'i, yupi unaweza mchagua awe rais wa Kenya 2027 kama hawa wawili ndio wamesimama? Kalonzo ama Matiang'i? Wewe wachagua sana. Dadangu, naomba nikuulize swali rais tafadhali. Nakuuliza hivi, hapa Kenya, si ndio? Kenya. Kidogo tafadhali. Nakuuliza hapa Kenya, kati ya Kalonzo na Matiang'i 2027, tuseme wote wanavai for president. Who would you vote for to be the president of the Republic of Kenya? Kalonzo or Matiang'i? Asante kwa maoni yako. Thank you. Matiang'i anaosha. Yupi unaweza mpa kura awe rais wa Kenya 2027? Kalonzo or Matiang'i? Tuseme hawa wawili ndio wamesimama. Matiang'i. Asante kwa maoni yako. Thank you. Excuse me my sister. Naomba nikuulize swali rahisi kabisa. Sisa, nitakuuliza kesho. Kati ya Kalonzo na Matiang'i 2027, yupi unaweza mpa kura awe rais wa Kenya? Kalonzo or Matiang'i? Mimi sitapiga kura. Wewe utapiga 2027? Hautaki?
Huyo ni noma.
Si wao. Asante kwa maoni. Yupi unaweza kumvotia awe rais wa Kenya? Kalonzo or Matiang'i? Asante kwa maoni yako. Thank you. Kalonzo has gotten the first vote. Mama anaweza kuuliza swali rais tafadhali? Yeah. Nitamuuliza ngumu kesho. My brother, naomba nikuulize swali rais tafadhali. Kati ya Kalonzo na Matiang'i 2027, nani unaweza mchagua awe rais wa Kenya? Tuseme hao ndio wamesimama, Kalonzo or Matiang'i? Nani? Kalonzo. Wow, asante sana for your opinion. Nakuuliza hapa Kenya, kati ya Kalonzo na Fred Matiang'i, tuseme hao wawili ndio wamesimama president. Yupi anaweza kuwa better president for Kenya? Kalonzo or Matiang'i? Matiang'i. Asante kwa maoni yako. Nakuuliza hivi, hapa Kenya, Kalonzo, Fred Matiang'i, wote wamesimama president. Who would you vote for? Kalonzo or Matiang'i?
Tunapatia Matiang'i.
Matiang'i. Asante sana. Mnampenda. Fred Matiang'i has gotten 5 votes against Kalonzo Musyoka, who has only 2. That means Fred Matiang'i gets 1 more vote. It's over. Tuseme Kalonzo Musyoka na Fred Matiang'i wamesimama president. Nani unaona anaweza kuwa rais mzuri wa Kenya? Acha nimuulize mzee wangu. Sawa. Naomba nikuulize, hapa Kenya, Kalonzo Musyoka, Fred Matiang'i, wote wamesimama for president. Nani unaona anaweza kuwa rais mzuri wa Kenya? Matiang'i. Asante kwa maoni yako. Dr. Fred Matiang'i has gotten 6 votes against Kalonzo Musyoka, who has only 2. Which means, Kalonzo Musyoka, you have been eliminated. And Fred Matiang'i, you're moving on to the finals to compete against either Edwin Sifuna or Rigathi Gachagua. End of the second round. Welcome to the third round, second to the last competition between Edwin Sifuna and Rigathi Gachagua. 10 votes will decide on who goes home and who heads to the finals to compete against Fred Matiang'i. Bro, naomba nikuulize swali tafadhali. Nakuuliza hapa Kenya, kati ya Sifuna na Gachagua, yupi unaweza mchagua awe rais wa Kenya 2027? Hapa. Kati ya Sifuna na Gachagua. Sifuna, asante sana. Wewe ni Sifuna? Asante. First vote has gone to Edwin Watenye Sifuna. Kati ya Sifuna na Gachagua, yupi unaweza chagua awe rais wa Kenya 2027? Gachagua. Asante kwa maoni yako. Dadangu, naweza kuuliza swali moja rais tafadhali? Nakuuliza hivi, hapa Kenya, kati ya Sifuna Gachagua, yupi naweza mpigia awe rais wa Kenya 2027 kama wawili wamesimama? Gachagua. Asante kwa maoni yako. Sifuna Gachagua 2027. Rais. Rigiji.
Huyu ako na wakati mwingine inakuja. Si sasa. Hiyo wakati mwingine.
Ni Rigiji. Asante. Hapa Kenya Sifuna Gachagua tuseme wote wamesimama rais. Yupi naweza mpa awe rais wa Kenya 2027?
Huyu na huyu.
No, Sifuna na Gachagua. Sifuna. Asante kwa maoni yako. Tamuuliza yule mzee anakaa DJ Afro Amigos. Excuse me sir, kati ya Sifuna na Gachagua, yupi naweza mpigia kura 2027 awe rais wa Kenya kama hao ndio wamesimama? Sifuna au Gachagua? Asante kwa maoni yako. This is very tight. Sifuna 3 and Gachagua 3 kati ya Sifuna na Gachagua. Nani unaona anaweza kuwa rais mzuri wa Kenya 2027? Gachagua. Asante kwa maoni yako. Thank you. Naomba nikuulize swali rais tafadhali. Nakuuliza hapa Kenya kati ya Sifuna Gachagua, nani anaweza kuwa rais mzuri wa Kenya 2027? Sifuna ama Gachagua? Amesema nini? Amesema nini? Oh, amesema hivyo? Oh, asante. Excuse me sir. Can I ask you a quick question tafadhali?
Swali kuhusu hili.
Si ndio nikwambia usikie. Nataka kujua hapa Kenya kwa maoni yako kati ya Sifuna na Gachagua, nani anaweza kuwa rais mzuri wa Kenya 2027? Who would be a better president for Kenya? Sifuna, Gachagua. Asante. Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua has gotten 5 votes against Edwin Sifuna, who has only 2, which means Gachagua gets 1 more vote. It's game over kati ya Sifuna na Gachagua. Yupi nazataka awe rais wa Kenya 2027? Sifuna or Gachagua? Sifuna. Asante, wewe ni Sifuna. 9 votes done, 1 vote to go. Sifuna has 4 and Gachagua has 5, which means if this final vote goes to Edwin Sifuna, it's a tie, 5-5. We find a tiebreaker, but if it goes to Rigathi Gachagua, it's end of the round. My sister, can I ask you a quick question? Okay, no quick questions. Fast, okay. What is the opposite of quick? Fast. Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you a quick question? Tafadhali. Oh, okay, sawa. Thank you for your service. Okay. Excuse me, sir. Who would you vote for to be a president in Kenya 2027? Gachagua. Thank you for your opinion. Gachagua has gotten the final vote, which means Gachagua has won this round, and Edwin Sifuna, you have been eliminated. That means it's time for the grand finale.
Welcome to the grand finale. From this list of 5 Kenyan politicians down to these 2, the former Deputy President, DCP, presidential candidate Rigathi Gachagua versus the former Cabinet Secretary and the Jubilee presidential candidate Fred Matiang'i. Who do the people of Murang'a believe will be the next president of the Republic of Kenya? 10 votes will decide.
Kati ya Gachagua na Matiang'i, nani unaweza mwelect 2027 awe president wa Kenya? Matiang'i. Thank you for your opinion. First vote in the finals has gone to Dr. Fred Matiang'i. Hapa Kenya, Gachagua, Matiang'i. Wote wamesimama for president. Who would you vote for? Gachagua. Yeah. Asante kwa maoni yako. Let's just keep moving. Gachagua, Matiang'i. 2027, nani awe rais?
Mimi nataka Gachagua.
Unataka Gachagua?
Yeah.
Asante kwa maoni yako. Kati ya Gachagua na Matiang'i, yupi unaweza mpa kura awe rais wa Kenya 2027? Kama huyu Gachagua. Yeah. Asante kwa maoni yako. Kati ya Gachagua na Matiang'i. Matiang'i, hata bila kumaliza swali.
Matiang'i.
Asante kwa maoni yako. Who would you vote for to be the president in 2027?
Mimi yangu napea Matiang'i.
Matiang'i. Asante kwa maoni yako bro. Rigathi Gachagua 3 and Fred Matiang'i 3, 4 votes to go. 2027, yupi unaweza mpigia awe rais wa Kenya 2027, Gachagua ama Matiang'i? Asante kwa maoni yako. Kati ya Gachagua na Matiang'i, nani unaweza mchagua kama rais wa Kenya 2027 kama hawa wawili ndio wamesimama? Rigiji. Asante kwa maoni yako. Thank you. 2 votes to go. Gachagua, Matiang'i wote wamesimama. 2027 unampa nani? Gachagua. Asante kwa maoni yako. 9 votes done, 1 vote to go. Rigathi Gachagua has 5 and Fred Matiang'i has 4, which means if this vote goes to Rigathi Gachagua, it's end of the experiment. But if it goes to Fred Matiang'i, it's a tie, 5-5. we find a tiebreaker. Let's get the final vote. My brother, quick question.
Yeah.
Gachagua Matiang'i, President 2027, nani?
I would choose Gachagua.
Gachagua.
Yeah.
Asante kwa maoni yako. Through the powers vested in me by the people of the internet, I now declare that the next president of the Republic of Kenya, according to the people of Murang'a, is Rigathi Gachagua. Head now to viongozi.com to vote for your most preferred presidential candidate. The link to viongozi.com is in the first comment in this video. Subscribe. Who will the people of Murang'a vote for as the president of the Republic of Kenya in 2027? We begin by eliminating the one they'll not vote for. Kati ya Ruto, Kalonzo, Sifuna, Gachagua ama Matiang'i, yupi huwezi kumchagua 2027 awe rais wa Kenya? Wenye uwezi kabisa. Mwenye uwezi kabisa. Nani? Ruto. Hawezi. Asante kwa maoni yako bro. The first vote has gone to Dr. William Ruto, the president of the Republic of Kenya. The first politician to get 5 votes is eliminated. Yupi huwezi mpea kura 2027 awe rais wa Kenya?
Siwezi mpea ama naweza mpea?
Huwezi mpea hata akikuomba.
Siwezi mpea Ruto.
Asante kwa maoni yako. Thank you. Yupi 2027 huwezi mchagua awe rais wa Kenya? Nani? Ruto. Asante kwa maoni yako. Even though we are moving across the country asking Kenyans who they'll vote for as the president of the Republic of Kenya in 2027, kuna wale bado ambao hatujawafikia, but I still got you. We are giving you an opportunity to vote from wherever you are through viongozi.com. Viongozi with Y. After watching this video, go to viongozi.com and create your own account as a voter.
Sawa, Stony PK, that was the video. You can react now.
Yeah, those are very, they are good tests that actually with the modern technology, we are supposed to have that kind of sampling. Sorry, nimeingia bila kusalimia watu. Naona kuna watu wengi katika comment section, akina Sala, akina Acacia. I think ni watu wetu wa kawaida. So salamu, nafanya wholesale salamu. Amjambo nyote. And yeah, today I had a very busy day listening and watching and talking to people about what was happening. There was the big conference or presser that was held by the United Opposition. And in Jiru, there is a language that personally, whenever I would moderate in my channel, which I'm beginning from next Wednesday, I'm resuming from next Wednesday, and I'll be doing it once a week. I will never use some of the terms in English that are used by some people. A term like the so-called. If I asked you what is the so-called, that is very poor English. My best English teacher and mentor, Mrs. Souma, aliniambia there is anybody who uses the so-called, huyo simu linguistic. Because those are some of the very archaic expressions. There is nothing called the so-called. When you call yourself Njiru, the power, you are not the so-called Njiru, the power. That is what you believe, and that's what we should call you. The only person who comes to call you the so-called is a demeanor, the one who thinks and demeans you. So anybody who says the so-called opposition should not even go ahead to try and talk about the opposition. I had a straight aongea about Ruto, about inaitwa nani Kasongo. Because once you call me the so-called, you don't believe me. You don't think that is what I'm supposed to be. So on this chance, when people talk, they should learn when you use phrases. Which side are you? Because now we are headed towards whereby you are supposed to define which side and where are you seated. Anyway, that's according to, it's my perception. It's my thinking. I don't want to force people to that. This kind of self-initiative, these are self-initiative, initiatives from individuals. because Kenya is awoke now. We have moved so far. The only thing that has drawn us back is the leadership. The top leadership of this country is what is putting Mkenya chini. One thing I believe is Mkenya anaendanga mbio kuanzia siku za Kipchoge Keino. When you come to real running up to today, Mkenya anatimkanga akiendanga. Technology anatimkanga akiendanga. M-Pesa alishika na akatoa na ndio hiyo ya dunia. So the only challenge we have is deterrent retrogression by the leader. Can you imagine if we had a progressive president that supports every Kenyan individual initiative? We would be Singapore times 10. Take that to any bank. Today, if you had a president, when these two boys discovered M-Pesa, before they were conned, and you had a leader, president intervening and saying, no, msikubali hiyo milioni 20 mnapewa ama milioni 10 mnapewa. This thing is a lifetime thing. It's a narrow mask thing. Where would those two boys and the country be? Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because we have the intellect, we are so good, but we are careless. Who elects these useless leaders? Why are we crying about Ruto, Kasongo? Whether he read or not, but we also participated in putting him there. So what am I saying? That these kind of initiatives are fantastic. Because me and you today, and whoever is listening and seeing this, gives you a quick, inaitangwa rapid test, rapid assessment. For those of you who did statistics and who did some of these project or program management, sometimes you do a quick inaitwa rapid assessment. Rapid assessment, you don't need to sit down and start, theologizing and putting a lot of other scientific things. It's rapid. You put 2 questions or 1 question. Who among these people would you not? I mean, this is super. I congratulate that guy. It is so straightforward for an illiterate, and I'm not insulting, for somebody who, you don't need very scientific, theory. It is simple. Among these people, Jiru, Nani, Ninani huwezi chagua. It's a very quick thing. 30 seconds, na mtu anaenda. So I applaud that. Initially, I was there when I watched their first one. They dealt with the deputies, anybody who had been a deputy in Kenya. They did that rapid assessment and they did that. So the thing is, and I think what they are talking about, I texted and I asked, is it going to go all over Kenya? And of course, you don't need to go to the 47 counties. Just do 25. Or you spread it wide. Hapa na pale, you do 18 or 16 or 17. That will give you a picture. You go to Somali, northeastern, Ruka Coast, cosmopolitan area and that kind of a thing. And out of 47 counties, if you can manage 18, depending on how they will spread it, we shall be able to have a kind of an indicator or a feeling. You go to Murang'a and you have Gachagua there. What do you expect? Go to Kisii and you have Matiang'i there. What do you expect? Go to Western and you have Mimi Sifuna. What do you expect? Go to Coast. Coast is a challenge because Coast, they don't have one of their own at that top radar. But if you want, you can bring in a posterior. You get, what you get. So we want, after you do that round of people calling for their own, which should be one of the key things that I want us to really hold dear. That up to today, 2026, 2027, the regional inclination is pivotal. Or for British English, pivotal. In terms of the anchorage of Kenyan politics. This is key. And this is something that even the Gen Zs now should know, that you cannot wish away this rooted definition of Kenyan origin and population. Very key. And that's why in my own, wherever I talk, wherever I interact with people, I say, do not loudly discard some of these deep-rooted. I've had a lot of issues with one of our guys here who contribute a lot. I don't want to call names. When you come with this term legacy leaders, and as I keep on saying, Kenyans are misled to pick terms. And you pick a term, you start peddling it negatively. When you talk of, you talk of a legacy politician, what are you talking about? Because 2026 subject today is not about legacy politicians. But who wants to bring that? Somebody tinted it so that it deranges people. Today, it's not about legacy politicians. Today, for the first time, and thank God, we are talking of integrity in leadership. Unfortunately, it has come after 62 years of independence. It is today that people are looking at integrity. Number one, integrity. But now the moment those who would want to continue suppressing Kenya realize that it has shifted to character. Because when you talk with integrity, you're addressing character of a person or a leader. And who wants to be analyzed? Njiru, today, if you had somebody who wants to have 30 minutes of analyzing your character, and if you never had a good character, would you want to listen to that guy for 30 minutes? Njiru sijui unaangalia nijibu ndio niendelee. If I came today and said, my lesson today for 30 minutes, I want to talk about the character in the name of Njiru. How comfortable would you be?
Tony PK uko na mambo mingi sana, and I really wanted the
It's an example. So usichukue personal. Can you imagine? You think Kasongo is happy where he is? Why do you think he's turning pale and blue and green and yellow? Next time you will be seeing what color.
Si umesikia hata kuna jamaa hapa amesema and I'm not missing, afadhali shetani kuliko Kasongo, sababu shetani anakuoneshanga zile vitu atakupea na aendi nazo. Shetani anakuonesha wewe tu nipigie tu magoti uone ubebe hizi vitu zote. Anasema Kasongo anakuambia kile atakupea, alafu anaponyoka hivyo.
So, yeah, that's where I'm headed now. That this, okay, for those who don't believe in the Bible, kuna watu wa believe, do you know this is God's moment for Kenya? Kenya tumebangaisha for 60 plus years, Njiru. Tumekuwa tukifanya abracadabra. Today, in Kenya, number one, the enemy ni mmoja. Umewahi kusikia hiyo kitu, Njiru? Ati kwamba saa hii Kenya yote, kona yote utaenda, watu wanasema hatutaki Ruto. Come on, man. Beautiful. If I am a person who loved to use hallelujah and all this, I would say hallelujah. that ukiongea na mshosho anasema sitaki Ruto. Sasa kama kila kitu na kila mtu amesema shida ni Ruto, sisi wenyewe hapa nyuma na amesema ni Ruto, kwa hivyo tukimbie zaidi, tuende tung'oe na tumalize hii kitu, tutupe tuweke korokoroni ama tuweke chini ya mti ama tubari, then sisi wenyewe already tunaanza huku nyuma kuanza kupigana. Nani atakimbia, nani atafanya? I don't think this is the time to even start thinking who should be the bearer and who should not, because the people have said our enemy ni ile swara ndio tunataka kuua. Atujali ni nani atatupa mshale ya kwanza. Kwa hivyo for us here, I'm talking about the Kalonzos, the Matiang'is, the whoever. On our side here, we have a very easy job that Kenya has never had before. Never. Don't compare this with the 2002 this is a super unique thing. So why is it super unique? It is super unique because you just need to tweak the formula. Tweak kidogo tu. Then the rest of the things is ambazo zinaitwa ego. Because we are human beings. Gachagua thinks he should be the president. Matiang'i thinks he should be the president. Martha Karua thinks he should be the president. Kalonzo thinks that for me as of today. And if I was to talk to these guys in a room, although they are older than me, I would tell them, you will be the most stupid, useless figures in this country if you squander this rubbish. If you squander this chance, you will be rubbish. That's what I mean. I would tell them it right in their faces. That you waste your time now discussing that you want to have formulas, you want to have sijui nini to discuss about an enemy, how to tackle an enemy that we, the people, the power, have already decided has to be eliminated. Then you are here sitting and talking about formulas, your egos, your garbage, telling us who has more experience than the other, telling us who never slept with whose wife. Come on, we are not interested. And here is where now the Kenyans, the majority, have to now get mad. And I'm calling about the Gen Z. Because we had a lot of hope with the Gen Z. And now Gen Z are being used to create confusion. Confusion how? When they start believing and thinking they can do this thing on their own, that's a pipe dream. There is no single generation that will be able to remove Ruto. Take that to any bank and ask me later. This is where we are supposed to come collectively. The way the indicator is. The indicator is Gen Zote Ndiongori. And that's my program from next Wednesday in Jiro. For 1 hour, it will be Gen Zote Ngori. If we don't go Gen Zote and Jiro, prepare to stop your program, because what will you be talking after August? Jiro, niambie, what content? Utakuwa unakaa hapa kuongea nini? Ruto akiwa president?
Of course, if Ruto becomes president again, all these things will fold.
Exactly. So I'll end my thing here by saying that tuache debate za Matiang'i ndio, Kalonzo ndio, nani ndio, sijui nani. Wananchi kura, wenye kura wanahitaji kuambiwa ni Njiru, and that it will be. Ama waambiwe ni kondoo. Bora ni kondoo inaambiwa inaenda kutoa Ruto. Kenyans will vote for that kondoo. Tuache hizi story mingi. Unajua Kenyans tunaletanga ushit. Sorry to use that term. Tunaanza analysis. Matiang'i sijui wa Sonyiro. Ama inaitwa Rivayala. Kalonzo sijui wapi. Sijui mama anaitwa nani? Mama Karua sijui alisupport Kibaki. Sijui. Hiyo interview umeona, hiyo umeplay. The generation that does not, those people who are born during Matiang'i, they don't know about Kalonzo. And that's why they would say Kalonzo Matiang'i, they say Matiang'i. Wale watu ambao walikuwa siku za Matiang'i, Ndio wanajua. So I'm telling you right now, we are supposed to guide in there, and God has given us the slate. It is there. There is no one time that a country had united by the voters pointing at one objective. Never. I'm not very young. I've seen several elections. I can actually write and I can actually lecture about the way campaigns go in Kenya. This time it is totally different. It's unique. It is unique because the president has made the pain go into each and across the board, the rich, the poor. It has never happened in Kenya before. During Moi's time, the rich continued getting rich, okay? And there was that gap. This time, even the rich wanapiga nduru because they've been wameendewa, okay? So it is the best moment. The revolution that would happen in Kenya and Njiro today would be that which has never been seen in any of these countries. Maybe ile ya Maria nani, ile about mkate $1. Do you know today in Njiro, Ruto would not land in Kenya today if Kenyans had one person to trigger. After this conference, the United Organization, opposition had, the Kalonzo and Nani, Akina Gachagua and everybody, that conference, what they would have done, the underlying statement would have been, "Huyu jamaa akai huko amekaa," because he continues to progress. Nonsense. He goes and gives at a high-profile speech of how Kenya has to support Ebola. Then there is a budget that is going to be ready tomorrow, which is a killer budget for Kenya. If I was there to read my statement, I would have given 2 words. Kenyans, this has to be the end of Ruto. After they read the budget, we listen for whatever time they'll read, immediately come to parliament. That would have made my words. We stupid, useless guy that we have never had before, who talks and thinks that Kenya is his mother's kitchen. Insulting Kenyans, that Kenyans who are opposing this bill are stupid. I mean, how arrogant and how arrogant can somebody be than what Mbandi is to Kenyans? Ndio unaambiwa saa ingine, sorry to say this. Anyway, let me not quote that because it will go viral. That's why we say some stereotypes are real. I leave it at that point. Some stereotypes are real because you cannot believe somebody saying that anybody opposing this bill is stupid. Anybody opposing this bill, sure. What are we talking about? So if I wish I was one of these guys that we had that high profile pressure, the bottom line, and I wanted that from Gachagua. I was thinking Gachagua will inaitwa kuletea kanya. I thought yeye ndiye alikuwa atapiga hiyo kanya kwa mawe. But unfortunately, I think he's been told to be so diplomatic because that profile, that press was to end with which way forward for Kenya. But they shifted it to the MPs and again behaved like the way the courts have behaved, that Kenyans, we know we will lose in parliament. This is a very stupid thing to do. That yenyewe tunajua parliament tuta lose, lakini you shout to be recorded. Jiru, how do you do that? What is this that Kenyans have adopted? Ati Njiru wewe enda hapo tunajua utashindwa, lakini uinue mkono tujue uliinua mkono. Roba amepotea. I wanted Roba should come back. Yeah. How do you go to a battle saying wewe enda tu tunajua utauliwa, lakini make sure tumejua umeuliwa, then we count you in the number. Let me stop there.
Haya, sawa. We wanted to give Roba an opportunity, lakini amekimbia haraka. So, Stony PK, now, if I ask you a question now, based like those interviews, you can see like their output. So, how will they easily agree on one person? What should be the formula? Experience, acceptability by people, or like if you are the one to choose them, which attributes are you going to use?
I'll do this, this is quick. This is very quick. Very quick. Very quick. The number one driving force for me to make a decision, you are a teacher, when you are marking, that you can, like for me, an English teacher, literature, a composition, mtu anakuandikia page 5. Okay? As you read, there is what you are looking for, based on the topic that the person is presenting. Here, the topic we are presenting is Kasongo must go. And then you also, at the back, we know what mistakes we can make for Kasongo not to go. Okay? Number 3, we know the real things that will contribute to Kasongo going. 4, we know that Kasongo will only go based on the votes, people voting. So what are we talking? You are yawning, you're tired, Tufanye tumalize. So if we agree Kasongo ataenda juu ya kura, we cannot elusively discard the numbers. Numbers, huwezi kutoroka kwa numbers, Njiru. Huwezi toroka kusema Waluya are this population. You'll be the most stupid person. Huwezi toka ukisema Wakamba namba yao kama ni 1.3 million, uanze kusema ni 400,000. You will be another very stupid person. Huwezi toka hapo useme ati Mulima sahi because of sijui tunataka tuseme we are eliminating tribalism and all. Then uzamishe Mulima kwa ocean ndio watoke wakiwa 200,000 in 14 months. You'll be a stupid person. What am I saying? That you have to bear the reality and the facts. Number 5, the narratives being brought by some people at all wanaitwa nini? Wanaita nini hao nini? The way they are discarding the old politicians, they are calling them what? Njiru. What are they calling the old politicians? People who are older in politics. Legal or something. What they are using.
Dynasty.
No. I'll tell you. Yeah, there is that distaste. Just because maybe you are old, unamekiwa kwamba.
Sawa. So nipe dakika moja abak.
But sasa nitaongea peke yangu.
No, narudi dakika moja tu.
Aya, weka interview basi.
Wacha tuone kati yenu na mimi nani atatoroka wa kwanza.
Sifuna is walking into the lion's den and is not blinking. This Sunday, June 14th, 2026, Linda Mwananchi plants its flag in Thika, the heartland of Mount. A man from Bungoma leading a movement that has already swept through Mombasa, Nakuru, Machakos, Kisumu, and Kakamega is now knocking on the door of Kikuyu political territory, and someone on the inside is already turning the handle.
Karibuni sana Thika.
68% of Kenyans don't trust their own president. 74% say this country is on the wrong road. The house is on fire, and Sifuna is standing outside with a megaphone. The question isn't whether he's brave. The question is he ready?
I can feel it when you say you are Sifuna. I can feel the support. Hakuna hata kitu kingine naweza waomba zaidi.
Linda Mwananchi, 3 words, 1 movement, and right now it is the most dangerous political vehicle on Kenyan roads. This is not your grandfather's opposition rally. Linda Mwananchi didn't sprout from one ethnic corner of the country and stay there. This movement hit the coast, Mombasa, it rolled through the rift, Nakuru, it went down into Kambani, Machakos, it filled grounds in Kisumu and Kakamega, and after Thika this Sunday, Eldoret is next on the map. Read that list again: Coast, Rift Valley, Ukambani, Nyanza, Western, Mount Kenya, Eldoret. That is not a regional movement, that is a national tour, and it's not done. Edwin Sifuna, ODM Secretary General, reformist, sharp-tongued, and sharper-minded, is the face driving this machine. Supporters like Saboti Member of Parliament Caleb Amisi aren't whispering anymore. They are shouting from rooftops, Sifuna for president, Sisi ndio Sifuna. The chant is out of the bottle. Nobody's putting it back. Numbers don't lie, and these ones are absolutely brutal. A TIFA research survey from May 2026 landed in settles like a cold bucket of water. 74% of Kenyans believe the country is headed in the wrong direction. Only 14% think things are going right, and 68% of citizens have little or no trust in President William Ruto. That is not a dip in popularity. That is a political hemorrhage. Cost of living squeezing families dry, punishing taxes piled on a struggling economy, youth unemployment so thick you can't cut it with a panga. These are not abstract statistics. They are the fuel that keeps filling Sifuna's rally grounds.
Kenya wanaumia. Wakenya wanaumia na Wakenya wamechoka. Ufisadi imefika level ambayo hatuwezi kuzungumza. Sasa kila kitu inanunuliwa.
Now he is where this story sharpens into something truly dangerous. Rigathi Gachagua, the man William Ruto impeached, humiliated, and discarded like yesterday's newspaper, has not gone quietly. He hasn't flipped dramatically or made explosive declaration. What he has done is arguably more significant. He has openly welcomed Sifuna's Linda Mwananchi team. The door to Mount Kenya, which should have been bolted shut against any opposition advance, has a very influential hand holding it open. Think about the geometry of that moment. Gachagua carries deep roots in Mount Kenya, the very territory Sifuna is attempting to penetrate in Thika this Sunday, when the region's most prominent political sun signals that these visitors are welcomed. It doesn't just give the movement access, it gives it legitimacy on ground that no amount of rally logistics could buy. This is the nightmare William Ruto built with his own hands. The man he impeached is now the gatekeeper to his own backyard. In Kenyan politics, the enemy of your enemy is not just your friend, he is your most valuable campaign asset. Ruto created Gachagua's grievance. Gachagua may now quietly help dismantle Ruto's fortress from within.
Harambee! Harambee!
As of June 9th, former Law Society of Kenya President Faith Odhiambo officially joined Linda Mwananchi. Don't treat these as a footnote. This is a headline. Faith Odhiambo is not a politician protecting a constituency. She is a lawyer with a national reputation. Stoking that reputation on this movement, her arrival signals that Linda Mwananchi is no longer just a political rally circuit. It is becoming an institutional force, legal credibility, civil society muscle, the kind of name that makes watchdogs, donors, and diplomats pay closer attention. Alfred Keter was already in. Now Odhiambo is in. The tent is getting bigger, and the names inside it are getting sharper and heavier. There is a saying in law and in politics, when the lawyers start choosing a side, they have already read the judgment. Faith Odhiambo has read it.
Sisi hatutaki kwenda Singapore, tunataka hali ya maisha iende chini. Hatutaki kwenda Singapore, tunataka walimu wachungwe kwa sababu Ruto hasikii. Hii serikali nataka tuipatie red card.
Mumeonyesha heshima kubwa kwa taifa. Kisumu hamjai aibisha taifa la Kenya. Wakati wa ukombozi wa kuleta uhuru wa taifa, Kisumu ilikuwa ndani. Wakati wa ukombozi wa 4, Kisumu mtakuwa ndani, hamtakuwa ndani.
Shida zetu zote ambazo tuko nazo maishani ni serikali ndio inaleta. Tunapanga laini, tunapiga kura. Tukishamaliza kura, development haikuji hapa. Alafu unaambiwa hapa, ukiniangalia ya kwamba uko katika broad base.
So Sunday, June 14th, Thika, Kiambu County, what is actually at stake if the crowds show up? Genuine Mount Kenya faces, not just supporters based in from friendly counties. It rewrites the political script entirely. It tells the tales that the ethnic arithmetic Ruto has been banking his 2027 strategy on is actively crumbling. It signals to the entire opposition that a Sifuna-led national coalition is not wishful thinking. It is a working reality. And if Thika succeeds, Eldoret is next. That is Rift Valley territory, UDA's other stronghold. The walls will be closing in on Ruto from 2 directions simultaneously. But if the rally is thin, disorganized, or met with state force, remember the tear gas in Narok, the truck stoning. Critics will say exactly what they have been waiting to say, that Linda Mwananchi is a regional movement wearing a national suit. Thika is the mirror, and mirrors in Kenyan politics are always honest, even when the reflection is uncomfortable.
They go around and say, we want Kenyans to resettle. Kenyans, everybody has a right to live everywhere and own property anywhere. Really, let's be serious. And in Rift Valley, you will find, for example, a whole 5,000 acres inhabited from people who were brought from Kiamba. And they came to Rift Valley with the same name, Kiamba. You find another place, people who came from Rurigi in Central Province. Politics are very high stakes game, like the way it is now. People are bound to fight. Kama muko na shida na Wakikuyu, hamuko na shida na Wakikuyu kuliko sisi wa Kalenjin. Tuko na shida kubwa zaidi. Sawa sawa? Lakini ikifika mahali unatofautisha maneno, unaweka maneno ya tofauti za kijamii kando, unatafuta serikali kwanza, kwa sababu ile serikali itakusaidia kutatua matatizo ulio nayo.
Linda Mwananchi has the energy. It has the geography, coast to Rift to Mount Kenya. It has the citizen anger of tens of millions behind it. And now it has Gachagwa's open hand, Odhiambo's legal credibility, and a national tour that is not slowing down. But the anger alone has never won a Kenyan election. Organization wins, coalition arithmetic wins, and converting rally crowds into a disciplined, unified national ticket under whichever party banner survives the internal negotiations. That is the mountain still left to climb. Sifuna is building something real. The foundation is solid, but the roof is still being nailed on, and 2027 is closer than it looks. Politics in Kenya never sleeps, and after Thika this Sunday, neither will State House. Newsroom, Maisha TV, Mesh Msembi.
Haya, sawa Stone PK. You can react to Faith Odhiambo joining Sifuna.
Imagine being able to build.
What is your take on that? Sifuna, are you there? Stone PK, are you there?
I don't mind being called. I don't mind being called Sifuna.
Hey. Wewe umesikia Sifuna anataka kukuwa deputy wa kila mtu bwana. Kila mtu anasema Sifuna akuwe deputy. I think inakaa hiyo namba 2 ni kama imeamuliwa. Unaonaje wewe Stone PK? Being a deputy.
Before I come to nani, inaitwaje huyo mama umeita jina? If you go back to your program.
This
huyo mama. Naitwa nani?
Faith Odhiambo.
Yeah, Faith joining, that's great. Because for any normal, and I think she must be vying for some position somewhere. Okay? And as I said, anybody, mtu ambaye ana ile kasumba, you can see where the dira mahali ita point. As I said earlier in my presentation, tulisema Kenyans wameamua. Up from MCA level, anybody who is aligning himself with UDA, because UDA is Kasongo. Unajua ndio kitu watu hawajui. UDA, huwezi kuenda kusema ukisema atuwe ni Njiro, munichague, niko UDA, lakini I'm different from Kasongo. No. Anything yellow is condemned. Okay? So, this lady amejua in whatever position she wants to vie, she has to get the right party. Not party, the right group. She has to join the right group. Because Linda Mwananchi is not a party, but is the aspiration of Kenyans. And that's why Sifuna now, as of today, he will be one of the most stupid person if from today it doesn't now come out. I know he was trying to play what people call politics. Anaambiwa, unajua ako na tu advisors, sijui atuwe chezea chini. Hakuna mchezo ya chini saa hii. Sifuna is declared by Kenyans as deputy president. Okay? Whether, it's not about the polls, it's not about this, but it is the general feeling. And there are reasons. Njiro, in management, there is something we call SWOT analysis. The best you can do to yourself is SWOT analyze yourself. Ile inaitwa self. Genuinely. Na ukijua uko biased, unapatia a friend. Or if you are a manager in a place, ofisini, una hold us 30 minutes discussion. Unawapatia full scope. Unaambia wasiandike jina yao, lakini waseme, unawapatia hiyo SWOT, SWOT, analyze me as your head of department. Andika, jibu hiyo maswali the way you think. Ndugu Njiro, wacha nikuite bro ya ukweli. Bro, the information you get from those, if you are heading 10 member team, whatever you will get from that SWOT analysis from your team is the best. So long as you tell them not to write their names, for them to say exactly what they think. Sifuna amefanyiwa SWOT analysis na Kenyans. Remember, Kenyans wanasema Sifuna tunamtaka president 2032. Why? And they are giving reasons. Don't deny those reasons. Now, our challenge today, and this is according to Stone PK, is these guys we have, can they quickly decide, and they should listen to Mwananchi, and it's all over, who should be the flag bearer? And then the other team, the way they presented that press conference, that is how the government is supposed to be. Unfortunately, Sifuna was not there. He should have been there. I don't know why he was not there. Sifuna, that's the government we are looking forward to. That way, and Martha was not there, but we had an apology. That is the government, period. Period. Hiyo ndio serikali. Na hiyo serikali lazima ichunge, as I had said earlier, before you brought in that video, that we have to take numbers, voters into consideration. You cannot run away from that. Thank you, Njiru.
Yeah, let me read some comments. Na naona Njagi ameingia. Na huyu Njagi sijui kama ni huko kwenyu. Unajua hii majina mbili ilikuwa imeshikana Njagi Njirombo.
You unajua me, I'm never tribal. I take you as you are.
Yeah, ni sawa Stone PK. Are you trying to claim that wengine wetu ni tribal ama? Is that what you're insinuating? I agree. PK acheze juu tujue ni how. Yeah. Yes, birds of one feather flock together. Yeah. Okay, talk. Okay, that's fine. So let me ask you a question now.
Sikusikia hiyo umesomaje? Sikusikia vizuri ya net hapa.
Yanjue Njagi. Anasema Sifuna is practical, he understands the election dynamics in Kenya. And then anasema sijui kama ni alikuwa amesema ni kama, then kuna mtu amesema ni kama Caleb ameonyeshwa kitu. Na mtu amesema Caleb ni kama ameonyeshwa kitu ili agawe hiyo kule Waluya. Sasa let us hope that Caleb doesn't mess with Sifuna. Hiyo ni indigenous season.
How would Caleb mess Sifuna? Sifuna is national now, Njiru. You know, our channels should help.
What he has said, have you heard what Caleb's Amisi has said today?
Yeah, because Caleb anakasumba. You know, Caleb, you know, whenever he's being interviewed, he's talking as if he's the God-given. You know, Njiru never ever go to that. At God anointed, ulitoka, ulikuwa na machokora. Never give those kind of rubbish stories. They don't kind of endear you for the people. It's like standing and saying, oh, nina shiariro, ne mwana wa ndigwa. Come on. It's up to you if you are mwana wa ndigwa. Who cares? It's okay. You made it. Oh, you know, I'm a single mother. I'm a son of a single mother. Those are stupid attributes. Trying to appeal to sympathy, which is garbage. It's like coming and telling people, Bwana asifiwe, that the way you are saved, and kumbe, you are just trying to lure people and confuse people. Ndio waseme ati wewe ni mcha Mungu, and this kind of a thing. We should never go for that. We should go for characters. Yeah, I don't know why Nani feels like he has some jealousy on Sifuna. And of course, it's because we have that in the Luya people, Luya communities. They don't come from the same areas with the Sifuna. And Waluya, personally, I'm appealing to Luyas. Acheni ujinga yenyu hapo. Tafadhali. Ujinga hiyo ya Waluya ndio imefanya 60 plus years amujawahi kunusia utawala unaotakikana. Yet you are, by the way, Luyas, I think, are the biggest population in terms of Kenya, number one. But because of their stupidity that they call democracy, Mumaragori, sijui wapi, they have some very funny, very annoying thing that they cannot support one person. That's why they lose. As of today, they should swallow those pride. Sijui matiriki, wa maragoli, wanaki, sijui wa nini na nini. Those are very useless tribal cocoons that will not take them anywhere. They have the numbers. And they should not go saying that it is because they are democratic. They are not. In fact, they are clanist. So actually, this is the time around that all lawyers should rally to one person, who is Sifuna. Period. Caleb ananasa hangover ambazo Caleb siasimame basi tuone atapata kura ngapi. Yes, he says he won MP he was working with the chokoras. Sijui nini. Those are very useless stories to tell. You are now an MP, man. Come on, grow up and talk about leadership in parliament. Don't tell us how you used to walk in bare feet. Yeah, ulikuwa maskini is true. You could not afford. But now you are an MP earning $1 million a month. Don't give us those other rubbish. It's rubbish. Back to you. Aheshimu Sifuna.
Umepotea Stone PK. I think we can have Roba.
Nilikuwa Roba kuja.
Go ahead.
Wacha Roba kuja, sijui nilipotelea wapi.
Hapana, Stone PK hujapotea. Uko tu na nilikuwa nakusikiza.
Nimemaliza. Nimesema tusianze hii siasa ndogo ati because tulikuwa tunasoma class moja na Roba alikuwa ananishinda, he was on top of me, we were 30 students. Alafu nikikuja sasa Roba yeye hataki siasa, mimi nimeingia siasa. Sasa Roba, sorry Roba, I'm using your name. Ati unasimama unasema Wilson PK hakuna subject alinishinda, sijui nini. Tuache hizo. Sasa tuna shida kubwa.
Ati mimi ndio nilianza hiyo Linda Mwananchi, ati mimi ndio nimefanya hapa hata hiyo na nina. So what? You have only airtime right now. By the time the alianza ile chama ile renaissance akafikiri watu wanakimbia huko.
Yes.
Yeah, the alianza
which didn't make sense. Unaanza jina kubwa hata shosho yangu hawezi pronounce.
Exactly.
Thank you. Go on, Roba. Go on, Roba.
For me, that was a test of rate of Linda Mwananchi. They have tested. Wamepitia huko. There's one thing I think you have been following since you open hapo. Nilikuja, nikatalk. Let me just contribute before right on because I want to work. The thing is, it's simple. Sasa huyu Karibu akochera. Unajua, there's a problem here. Look at Martin Sikuku. Na wakati walikuwa na Jaramogi. Wakaenda wakaribu hiyo. So the thing is this, Luhya unity is needed right now if they want to have the future presidents in under their name. For them, somebody like Karibu to come and start telling us, kwa sababu yeye ndiye alihost hiyo wa Linda Mwananchi, yeye ndiye alianzisha hiyo akatuambia ni so what? But yes, you did it. Sasa huyu jamaa sio anaitwa nani? Huyu kutoka Ukambani, si alianzisha UDA. Ako wapi? Si UDA alienda na watu wenye walienda nayo. You know, there are some things here we cannot come here and tolerate from him. Unajua, he has airtime right now. As from next week, wakati he will never appear with the Linda Mwananchi is done. Hata hiyo nini airtime anapata itaenda kila kitu. Itaenda. Yeah, is going to be irrelevant. And that's what we can tell him. And watch out. Yeah, if you look at it, he never attended the meeting in Machakos. Some of them he has missed. And now, because now nobody talks about him, at the end he can do what he wants. Okay, he has a good idea. The idea he's talking about, ni kwamba, this was a movement, but it is not united with other Kenyans, with other movements, kwa sababu hiyo sasa italeta shida. Hiyo ni ujinga. Nobody in Kenya who can win election Exactly. Who can win election without uniting with others? At united opposition sasa ni watu watu hakuna watu watakuja ndio wananchi hawana kura. Kwani yeye kura huyu jamaa hata in fact he should be hata sahi just leave my mwananchi alone sasa. And then just go kwa sababu I was not expecting him akuje kutuambia and because Sifuna and the others, they want to work with the other people from the other parts of the country. And hiyo sasa hiyo ndio
Hiyo
inamfanya
ni
yeye
dhambi.
aende kwa sababu
Eh.
yeah, kwa sababu and because he thinks so. You know what? He was pointing at Gachagua. Let's be sincere here. I'm telling him, yeah, kama anajiita Karibu sensi. I'm telling you, Karibu, wasa ukienda saa hii, you cannot win an election if you don't have Gachagua as a peacemaker or as a maker, as a kingmaker. You cannot win. You cannot win because you need the rich votes from Mount Kenya. And if you think that Gachagua is irrelevant, Karuto is irrelevant, Matiang is irrelevant, this young crop of people sasa waenda at Sifuna, Baba Wina, kila kitu at waenda sasa, wao, then from there waingie chama chake, ndio waenda hapo, aenda auangushe. That's what was left. If Sifuna could have won that way, it would be irrelevant too. At this point, let me also talk what you guys you are talking about. Mlikuwa mnasema Kenya has decided who's going to be the deputy. I think I agree with you 100%. I think that's what is now being talked. And I think that's what people have settled on. Because what unajua kuna hii unasema unajua mahali kuna wasee abaribiki neno. So we cannot this idea of like sasa mweke mpatie Sifuna nini. There's something here I've also started changing my heart on that one. I've seen that Sifuna is going to be the number 2 guy. Okay, it's the number 2 now. Now who's going to be the number 1? And now my opinion also now comes in. If Sifuna is the number 2, so we have to be very careful with the number 1 now. Because if you want people to show up, what wakuja kupiga kura, then now the number 1 person has to be Matiang'i. I'm telling you that too. From what I'm seeing, najua from the beginning I was not a Matiang'i person, but there's this people want somebody who has never been part of a big government. Kama president, vice president, alikuwa nini, ameserve. But people, if you want to give them people now something new, so kuna kitu ingine ambayo you have to realize. Unajua kuna kupima mtu, kupima. These people, both of them have served some certain government at even at a level. Matiang'i must serve, but at the same time, he has people that can see what he did. Unaona? And then from there, the young people, especially wanafunzi ambao walikuwa hii wakati alikuwa hii mambo ya mitihani, they kind of relate with Matiang'i. The way alikuja patricia education, mambo ya IT, alikuja mambo ya this when he came to the Minister of Internal Security and whatever, they see him. They see him. And that's why I think when I see huyu jamaa amefanya hiyo polling hiyo ya Murang'a sahi. Alifanya Machakos, amefanya other parts of the country. Njiro, there's something here I think is building up. Something I never saw it coming because I might be behind kitu ambayo iko. I think with Gachagua being out and is Sifuna being settled as the VP, mimi naona hii mambo ya Matiang'i is getting some waves now. I think now Uhuru Kenyatta is going to be hii mambo ya Jubilee. I think that's what that's even so. I don't know what Kalonzo's role is, but at this point, that's what I'm seeing. This thing's going. Matiang'i seems to be like the person who can, like the whole country, who can just like what sahi waoni mambo ya kama wakisi pengine yani mkisi kura ambayo inakuja hapana. Watu wanaona what did alifanya nini. So Kalonzo can be given something else kama akichukua afanye nini is tua sahi. But I don't think Sifuna Kalonzo ticket, Kalonzo on top is going to sell. People don't like people who have been in governments for a long time. Hiyo ndio nimekuja kurealize sahi. And so, and Kalonzo's softness, and Kalonzo is, people have seen him for a long time. People are tired. But when you wataleta watu wakuja kupiga kura like this one here, we want to show up. I think the Sifuna Matiang ticket might work, but I still think that Sifuna Tintinyoro, that was my ticket. But Said inaonekana na mimi I can go with the way I'm seeing if he keep the way it's going right now. So even if the conference ukiangalia the way Matiang was when he gives that one, it's just like I'm not saying because sometimes you know where I come from when in Kenya, but also we have to know that from the beginning, Sisa to what were Matiangi. We were not. Even now, I can tell you, if I'm given, I would vote for Sifuna. So let's vote for Matiangi. But the more we go, the more I'm seeing this Iki demands go open for him. And that's why I think Karonso realized that the Uliona can't say the Kitchak. Ameanzisha nini presidential tena from hapa ndio amesema Karonsa amechagua nini kuwa makamu wake Sifuna. There are some people who are leaking these things yani akuje yani kuna watu kuna in fact Ukambani kuna this Ukambani kuna there are some people there very some of these members we know them ambao that I don't think at the end of the day Karonsa party keep pengine hata wataenda they go back to whatever. I don't trust them. But at this point, I think Sifuna, Matiang'i, if then Uhuru would campaign for them, if that's what he's going to do, I think they have a very good chance of just winning. But what surprised me, both sides, huyu jamaa amefanya hiyo mambo ya polling. Do you know Kasonga natolewa just like the first, yani hiyo kura ya 10 out of the string ngapi? Yani yeye anatolewa afanye hiyo Machakos ikaenda haraka sana, Kasonga katolewa haraka sana, na hii ya Murang'a if it was even faster. What does it tell you? But the guy was doing it, he was doing it random. That's how it's supposed to be, random. So it was a random sample. If it's a smaller sample, yes, but it's a random. I was not surprised that the Gajawa became on top. Oh, what do you expect? It comes from that part of the country. So there's a home advantage. But what surprised me was Matiang's performance. And even before even the other sides, Matiang has been there. He looks like somebody who's just around there. People know him, probably because of Uhuru. And I think if Uhuru comes out and talks more about him, I think he can make a very good candidate. And even the way he handles himself, Sahi, Unana, he just this is not like he has been consistent on this. The way he does things is kind of, we call it presidential. It's presidential. And you know what it tells you? Yeye anakuambia, I mean what I say what I mean. Unajua yeye kitu akisema hivyo ndio hivyo, whatever is going to do hivyo. Nana. So it's good for him. Let's see where it goes. But at this point, I think I'm also kind of confused with Kenya were metro that Sifuna will be the VP of somebody. I don't know. So I don't know because ndio hiyo Karibu ameona sasa hii kwa sababu Karibu yeye alikuja akatangaza Sifuna na akatuambia even from the beginning there's nobody Sifuna at this point it's been yeye ndiye na sasa hiyo anataka ingie chama chake atakrea ndio presidential candidate atakrea nini sasa hii waanguke. You know you Karibu man aende sake uko support aende sake uko. But at the end of the day, hey, we want people who can govern the country the way we want it. And at this point, I think Matiang Sifuna ticket, if that's what these people have decided, that's fine. I'll support that ticket. If it's going to be Karonso Sifuna, what else can you do? There's no way, as long as there's no monster, this monster. So, inajua Itumbi ni amekuja kusema ati hiyo ticket imekuwa nani Kalonzo amechagua nani Sifuna. I don't know where he's getting it from. Mimi nafikiri hii ni mambo ya wanaanza second guessing. So Itumbi is the one who has started this thing of Sifuna VP, by the way, and we are buying it. Let's not go there, bwana. I think also we have to Itumbi kama ni yeye, let's make still. I hope it will be Sifuna Matiang'i or Sifuna Kalonzo. I'll go with that the other way, Sifuna on top. Kwa sababu wanaona Sifuna is going to be a threat. That's why wameanza kusema wamewake up, and I think because of what's going on, huyu hawa jamani wameanza kuweka hiyo hii mambo tumeanza kubaya saa hii Stone BK hata ametoka hadi Sifuna kwa FP. I think that's why it's said to. That's what they wanted because they are scared of him being on top of the ticket. I don't know. Well, you can ask me questions. I'm here for now.
Okay, sawa. Naona umepotea.
No, I'm here. Sijapotea bwana. Niko hapa.
Oh, unajua your mic is still not mute. Nimefikiria maybe ni vile umepotea. Okay. That's fine. So let me ask you a question, Roba. Can you help me understand? Do you think these tickets which are being floated, it is coming natural? It is coming naturally, or it is social engineering? It is somebody trying to look at people's reaction. Pia wao wajipange. So, like, what is happening? These tickets which are being proposed now, like, na unasikia mpaka media. Is it something genuine ama ni kitu tu tunarushiwa tu?
No, this is Itumbi, and that's what they're doing right now, and that's a fact. And it's somebody who, in fact, it came from him. All these things are being sold. I'm telling you, they are scared of Sifuna being on top of the ticket. When I do a Sifuna, if he's on top of the ticket, he could have made asubuhi, and that's something we should not just like tuanze kufuata what wamesetwa akwe VP. I think he's the best guy to be on top of the ticket. And that's why they want him to be there so that now they can manipulate whoever is going to be left out. If it's Karonzo, they will try to manipulate the Kamba people. Unaona, sasa Mutua watakuja, watuanze kutuambia vile uchinga vile nini. Unaona, then kama ni Matiang, I think I would rather have, kama ni Matiang, then maybe they try to manipulate the Kisi people. You see, Matiang now kapata hiyo. So they are frauding this thing because they know very, very well, indeed, if kwa sababu unajua Waruya before it's not the first time wamekuwa na vice president for a long time, and that one they don't care. There was Musalia, there was Murumbi, sio Murumbi asisi alikuwa Mruya. Then there's also this guy Angatia. Unajua Angatia alishindwa akiwa vice president wa nani? Si alishindwa kura akiwa president wa Kibaki vice president wakati hiyo Wamaru amekufa. So let's not forget about this one here. They know that. They think that's a soft running for Sifuna VP. They can also able some parts like Ngoma and other places. They can manipulate him and this is part of some votes. But they know very, very well if Sifuna is on top of the ticket, then he has Karonzo or Matiang'i. Then from there, it's supported by the Mulima. It's over. It's over. It's over. And if you look at those people, the way the random here is a small scale. If you look at it, both countries, people don't have bad about him. The only person they hate is Kasongo. No, you could tell it's Kasongo. So at this point, Mambo, it's come from a source which is from the other part of the government trying to manipulate, trying to kama ya wao ndio sasa kuamua. It's psychological sahi. It's not BK. It's like let us not buy to this. Let us not buy to this. Sifuna is good enough to be a president, and that's what they are scared of. That's what they're scared of. If it's on top of that ticket. And let's not buy this thing of akina Itumbi wanaanza kutuambia sasa wameanza hii mambo ya VP slot. That's what we can see, but that one's being manipulated. It's social engineering. It's politics at its best, where somebody's trying to survive, is trying to limit some damages. It's trying to just like, what you do is just trying to limit the damage at this point, trying to figure out, can I get this thing? Can I pull a surprise? But they know if Sifuna is on top of the ticket, there's no way out that one is going to happen. They know that very well. And that's why I hope we should not buy this narrative ya kwamba ati amekuwa settled as VP. I can't buy that one. Stone BK.
Yeah, so that's okay. So you have said it is Itumbi. Maybe asking a question. How did people know it is Itumbi leaking this thing? Nataka tu kujua like I heard media.
I saw somebody say this one.
Was he the first person to maybe to post it in his profile?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, he did it, and he said it's settled. This Sifuna is going to VP of Kalonzo. That's a ticket.
Jiru, can I say something, please? Jiru?
Yes, go ahead.
Jiru,
yes, go ahead.
We are, Jiru, I hope I'm clear. You can hear me. We are falling into very...
I'm not getting BK.
Okay, Jiru, you are hearing me. Jiru, are you? Because I want Jiru to hear this. You are the moderator.
Can you get him?
Njiru sijui teknoloji yake iko namna gani. Engineer Njiru, unanisikia?
No.
Because kama unisikii then I don't need to.
I'm listening.
Yeah, you have to confirm. You have to confirm.
Nilikuwa nakuinulia kidole hivi.
Unajua I'm driving, I'm not looking at the at the phone.
Okay. Sawa.
I want verbal. Yeah. Now Njiru, I want us to stay away from stupid assumptions. And I'm not being rude. Can we run away from Itumbi nonsense? Njiru, as of now, I'm sponsoring a survey. And nobody knows I'm the one sponsoring it. I'm spending my own money. And I've assigned people anonymously. I don't want to know who will conduct it in my ward. And I want to feel the people. What is it they feel about every other thing in Kenya? Okay? So, whatever I'll get from there. How are you, my brother? You good? Give me $30 regular. No.
Okay, sawa. So,
yeah. No, let me finish.
You feel like we are following the wrong narrative based on what I'm hearing.
Unajua, you know Itumbi, Kamwembu, kaune ni kumbavu ya mtu. Amebeba Kenya. Do you know, I sat someplace, okay, for me, people in Embu ya juu, they don't know me. I sat somewhere, and pale Isaac Walton walikuwa kwa kona fulani, mimi niko mahali, nimepoa tu kivyangu. And then I heard what this guy was talking about, bwana. Yani, this guy is on a platform staging a comedy. For him, and anybody who has not read Government Inspector, it's one of the plays or a play that displayed what a confusion can cause. Itumbi is where he is by default, not by intellect. All right? And he has continued to lie and confuse people. He made himself a household name in terms of marrying and these things he does because they are...
Usimusifu sana, he was my classmate and he's garbage.
Thank you. Hata nisiende, sasa we ndio witness. So, Itumbi can post anything. Njiru, wewe utani witness. Just, yani, niongea na Kiembu ama na Kimbere. Kambi guare ore andu megosha.
No, sio Stone. Itumbi anafuatangwa na wajinga.
Exactly.
Any person who follows Itumbi is an idiot.
Yes.
Let me tell you by this Stone, and I'm not saying bad, and na watu wanisame. I'm not saying bad. Huyu Itumbi, who is pretending to be the brightest man in Kenya, he got a C-. Usemi ati C- in grade mbaya, he got a C-.
No, ni grade mbaya. Which university did he go?
No, Itumbi alienda college. Alienda kwa hizi college za kawaida.
So tuache yani, yeah, thank you, continue. Tuache hiyo maneno ya Itumbi. The truth of the matter is I was saying that whatever we are saying,
shule tulikuwa tunamuita Mururu.
Yes. So hiyo unaona hiyo nini uliweka. That guy who was conducting that rapid assessment survey is more intelligent than Isumbe a million times.
So can you tell people Mururu ni nini? Because Itumbi shule alikuwa anaitwa Mururu.
Mururu is the nini when you break an egg, that loose thing is what we call mururu. Okay? And mururu in Kiembu and Kimbere, when somebody calls you a mururu, you are a useless thing in terms of you have no formation. Okay? You are not a chicken, you are not anything. Unaona wewe mururu. Yeah. Okay? So, I'm trying to say that these rapid assessments that have been done, this guy, I remember in my earlier submission, I said, I wish he could go to, I gave the number of counties and all that, because it gives you a fair expression. And I was telling you, right now I'm sponsoring a survey in my ward. A ward is a unit, a very small unit in a specific county. And when you are doing that, or you are commissioning that, there is of course you have the hypothesis. And then at the background, you also have the expectations. And also you have the risks. And also you have the negativities that will emerge out of that. And also you have you can call negativity stroke bias. Okay? Because if you are doing it solely in Mbere, for example, then there are some obvious answers you will get. But you try to run away from that based on your questionnaire. All right? And you do that in Ukambani, do that in Kisii, do that in all. How you combine all that, you get a general feeling of the people. General feeling. And remember, when we talk of general feeling, it is general. It could be, it gives you a generalized kind of a look at things, the way things are likely to look. And most of the time, that has never been wrong. You cannot force, when you conduct a survey, you cannot force your opinion. Those of you who have done statistics and whatever, you can't say that it has to be stone PK. Apana, you read, you analyze the data and the feedback. Now, one key thing in Kenya, and I want to repeat this, it is that people don't want Kasongo. Now, number two, we don't care who is better than who in the opposition team. I don't know. We went to different schools. But this school today is not about that so-and-so is better than so-and-so. And this school dictates to Gen Z who were misled, who had a very bad notion, terrible notion that they could turn things over without other people, which was a very bad thing. But now they are realizing, and they are being mentored, that they cannot run this thing alone. Gen Z cannot remove Kasongo. And I want that to sink to people. And I want that to sink to Gen Z. I have Gen Z in my house. There is no way, there is no population ya Gen Z ambayo inaweza patia, inaweza toa Kasongo katika uongozi. Hamna. Because there is what is in the constitution. If it was just numbers that you all come out and vote, then you vote your 8 million, ila waku vote, plus another then 10 million, iyo Kasongo aende nyumbani, that is possible. But there are restrictions by the constitution. Some of the restrictions which are key is that you have to get a certain number or portfolio. 50 plus 1 is 1. Number 2, out of the counties, you have to get 25% in the 50% of the counties. Those are 3 critical restrictions whereby you cannot stand and chest thump thinking that sisi tutaweza Nyanza Waluya ama region hii kivote Gen Z wote ama sahi Gen Z wote wa vote. Come on, can we tell the people and everybody else that this is a collective responsibility? Number 1, remove Kasongo, then we come now starting talking about wazee waende nyumbani sijui and all that. So what am I saying? The survey is good. I'm just saying that it is not business as usual in Kenya. It is not about generation anymore. It's not about wazee anymore. It's not about the young people anymore. It is about everyone coming in arms. And let me finish. It is about everyone coming. It doesn't matter whether it's Sifuna, Kalonzo, Martha, whatever. So long as we all swallow our stupid pride and ego and pick one person. Because right now we have agreed the enemy is Ruto. So whatever, whether Martha Karua alienda na skati ikiwa fupi, let me finish. Whether Kalonzo alifanya, whether Sifuna alifanya, that is immaterial. And Njiro, that's why I want in our channels, we want to channel people and sharpen people towards a unified force with one person irrespective. For me right now, I cannot even start debating Kalonzo is better than Sifuna. Sifuna is this. That's garbage. Caleb, he has gone out of rail. That one we discard him. Anatoka tu because Caleb akitoka kwani hata hakuna kura, hakuna following atatuharibia because the people are united. Today if Kalonzo falls off and wants to go alone, he will go alone. Him and his wife and his children, period. Today Sifuna akikosa reli, ataenda peke yake. That's the beauty of this thing. Thank you. Come in. Anybody who wants to talk.
No, I just want to be short. I don't want to be... So what I was saying is, okay, I agree with what you say, Tony BK, and but on the top of the ticket, maybe. But also, what we also need to focus, who is the person ambaye analeta some people ambao wajawahi hata kupiga kura. You know, we are a lot of millions of people. But can you imagine somebody like Sifuna being on top of the ticket? Do you know how many people will show up when you watakuja? People will go and start registering to vote. It would be really, really massive. And that's what I mean. If Sifuna is on top of the ticket, it would not be the same as Kalonzo being on top of the ticket or Matiang'i or somebody else. But if Sifuna is on top of the ticket, I'm telling you, it will be generational. It will be old and the young, the old, the whatever, those who never voted before, every part of the country. Na kila kitu, yani kama wapatie Sifuna is the top of the ticket. I'm telling you, hata utaona people from overseas when hawajawahi kupiga kura kwa sababu some people will even spend their money to come to register so that they can be part of this, what they call, like change from what, from something which we have never seen before, and also it will be history in the making. And I think if Kasong goes out, it will be the history in the making in another way, in a lot of ways. So this is what I see. Sifuna, for me, the government is scared of him, and that's why they are trying to come up with all these stories. They are trying to come up with all this nonsense, a lot of things, trying to do this, trying to manipulate all these things, trying to put some numbers out there because they have the money, trying to psychologically. So that's what I mean. But at the end of the day, if Sifuna is on top of the ticket, people he's going to make even new votes to come out. People you never see before. It will be generational. It will be something you never seen before. Even I mean, compare all the voting and the population we are, you will see even mass registration because of him if he's going to be on top of the ticket, and that one would be very, very good for the country. It would be like I don't want to be naive and say it would be like Obama. I mean, Obama came and went, but it would be Sifuna. Sifuna would be have his own history. It's just like people. There's this thing people love him. He's kind of new in politics. They like the way he fights. They like he's consistent. And I said, if it's Sifuna na Matiang'i, it will be even now ataweka hii ile kuongeza chumvi kwa mboga. Unaona, kuongeza chumvi kwa mboga. Yes, so that's what I mean. Let me just leave it there.
Aya, sawa. Stone, unataka kuongeza on what Robert said? Okay, Robert, let me ask you a question.
I had a question.
Okay.
Go ahead, Stone PK.
Jiro, can you hear me?
Yeah.
100, go ahead. Nakusikia. Go ahead.
Jiro, can you hear me?
Yes, uko sawa. Yeah, Stone PK amepotea. So, Robert, let me ask you a question. So, do you think Ruto is scared of this card kama yeye ndiye anajaribu kuinfluence opposition ikuwe na hizi tickets ili amalizie opposition haraka, or it doesn't matter who opposition will bring, atamalizwa tu?
No, he knows. See, what he wants to do, he knows very well that either Matiang'i or Kalonzo, if one of them is on the ticket, he tried to manipulate that community back to him. But at the same time, he knows if there's one way of like the compromise on Sifuna on top of the ticket, this one, it would be a River Nile. It will not. It will be. It will be a storm. This is like. How can I call it? It's just like a donator in a kuja, and there's no way he cannot. This one is Sifuna on top of the ticket. It's over for him. He will not run. And I'm telling you for free, to my opinion and the way I see things. This is not like I got it from somebody else. No, my own thinking. If Sifuna is on top of the ticket and they all opposition, the United Opposition, they support him and they stand before him, Kasongo will not run because he knows he's going to be embarrassed. He's going to be a landslide. There's no way out. Hata wakifanya nini, iwe scandal. And that's why they're trying to manipulate this idea of him being the VP. Then now they can try to steal some votes from some people from Luya, some pengine from one of the Kisii or Kamba or whatever. So they want Kalonzo. They really want Kalonzo. For them, Kalonzo is the weakest candidate, to tell the truth. But you know what? They might think it might be worse for them. But also, we know that very, very well. They know if Funa is on top of the ticket, it's over. It's over for them because people come out.
Giru, can I say something now that I'm here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Jiru, I want to dispute what Roba perception is. Roba, when you talk of somebody is weak, ni wapi wanaweka sorry, excuse me. Are we putting these people in a ring, boxing ring, to avalisha gloves waanze kupigana? That's a
No,
question. Don't answer immediately. Why are we cheapening ourselves? Because when we use a term weak, what are we looking at? And Roba, if you are going to rebut this, I want you to
Stone
list. Wait,
PK,
no,
I'm telling
wait.
you what the other side
Mute,
is
man.
doing. I'm not saying it's
Mute.
me.
Mute, and then you will give us. I'll listen. Just mute. I want when you come to tell us about weakness and strength, then I want you to list at least 5 very elaborately, like a lecturer teaching a first year in college or something like that. Okay? When you talk of strength of whatever we are in, the situation, the contemporary situation we are in, analyze the strength of all what you are talking about. I want you to give me the
Stone
strength of
PK, I'm
Sifuna.
saying this.
Wait. Are you Sifuna? I mean, sorry to call you Sifuna. Roba, siwe umepitia ma colleges bana. People listen to, well, you listen to your people, whoever is speaking, your classmate talking, ndio ushike. Si unisikize. Why are you panicking? I'm just guiding you. What I want to hear from you. I want you to list down in your own theory. You are writing a paper. You are talking about the strength of the presidential candidates in Kenya based on the contemporary issues. So I want you to give at least, staki uandike mingi, andika tatu for each candidate, what you call and what you mean by strength. Number two, when we say that the problem we have today in Kenya is not comparison of these people who are together in opposition. What do you understand as Roba? Wewe unaelewa aje tukisema hawa watu wako kwa united opposition to remove Ruto? Tell the people, not me. What is it you understand there? Wewe umeiunderstand aje ndio tukuelewe? Because kama mimi Roba sijakuelewa in this whole scenario. You've been giving us Dindinyoro. You've been, I mean, some very interesting whatever. I don't know where those things come from based on the contemporary issues. So we educate us because that's your opinion. All right. So when we talk of already today, the major problem, we have people on this side who have only one common enemy. Then they are backed by the population. In a super English, we call it the populace. The populace wamesema nugu ni hii ndio tunaua. Tunataka ni nani tutapatia mkuki adunge. Na hatujali ni nani. Wewe Robo unakuja na specifications zako. Oh, sijui Sifuna can do this. Sifuna cannot do nothing in this country to remove Ruto one man alone. Period. None of them, Sifuna, Kalonzo, hakuna mtu hata akisema amedeclare atatoa Ruto. That will be an express ticket to Ruto second term. Take that to any bank. So when we sell this story of, oh, this one is better than the other, that to me, as Stone PK, So you answer my 2 questions. Thank you very much. Bye.
First of all, Stone PK, you're mixing up yourself. You are just trying to say things I've not said. You are just bringing up some things I've never said before. And in fact, the problem is you don't listen. That's the problem.
But you said you are fighting for Sifuna. You are saying Sifuna ndiye atafanya mambo. Sifuna.
Thank you, Stone PK, and I allow you. You can ask me. I don't have a problem the way you have a problem. By the way, you said you are going to start a program. Sometimes try to accommodate people. There's some people who like debating. You talk, I talk. People like that. But you want everybody to shut up. Then they talk. Then that's you. But also try to accommodate some people. There are people who like debating, and that's why we have a debate. You talk, I talk. But let me answer your question. First of all, it's not my opinion. I'm the one who told Injiru that Imambaya and people have settled on the VP of Sifuna to be the VP in Mambaya Tumbi. That's what I said. Because they know very well that if Sifuna is on top of the ticket, is a very strong candidate to beat them just up front as a united. If the united opposition, they give him that ticket. That's what I say. They are all trying to maneuver their way out because, I mean, it's political. That's what I said. I'm not saying it's my opinion. No, I'm not saying that Matiang or what. No, I'm saying Imambo because, like, you are even yourself. It came from you, and I was trying to warn you that the idea nanyi mmeanza kusema hapa at settled ya ni VP imekuwa settled, nikamwambia hapana, hiyo ni mambo ya Itumbi, and in fact there are some sources ambayo wao ndio wameanza kuuza hiyo kitu so that Sifuna does not come on top of the ticket, and that's what I said. I'm not saying that Sifuna should be on top of the ticket. Then also I told you this is the way maybe they are thinking. I said maybe this is the way they are thinking, that if Kalonzo comes up, they will try also to manipulate the Kisi, because now the Kisi will be out of the picture, because now Matiang will be sidelined from the. That's what they are thinking. I'm not saying this is my thinking. I'm just saying no. This is a general thinking that they are trying out to survive. They are trying out to encounter the opposition, the united opposition. But at the end of the day, I agree with you. At this point,
Bwana,
we
there's
should
something I'm
not.
not getting from you.
Yeah, we should not
Kidogo,
be.
kuna kitu sipati kutoka kwako kidogo.
Yes.
At the end of the day, we will have two people.
Yes.
Out of the possible 6 principles. So we have to begin accepting this, that
exactly
some will get and some will miss. But
yes.
the question which I'm because and the probability is majority will miss. So the question which I'm asking, do these people have what it takes to still remain in the unitary function?
Exactly, that's what I was
after
saying.
they lose it and they cannot go and start helping Kasongo the way Akina Wetangula and the rest, they went to help Kasongo. Question to you: if today Matiang'i is not the presidential candidate, will Kisii still vote for our candidate? Ni swali tu nauliza.
Of course, Kisii, because no, Kisii was rider. At this point, yes, they know Matiang'i will get something on top there. Now they have already decided Kisii will vote. That's what I say. If at all the only person where there's no damage will not be done, it will be Kisii, because I think the Kisii have made up their mind. Kasongo, it will be a limited thing. At the end of the day, I think very well Matiang'i will be able to bring the people up. And Matiang'i has said there's nowhere it's going. The person who I think will big damage is Kalonzo Musyoka. That one I can tell the camper, because you know kuna hii governor si wa wapi, unajua kuna Wambua, we have dealt with them before. Unajua the way they kind of walicheza papa, and because of that we lost a lot of votes in Ukambani. They have that kind of history. So that's what I was saying. For me, we support any ticket, but I say to be a safe ticket, it has to be Sifuna on top, and that's what they are scared of. I mean, that's my opinion.
I think I can only wait and see if they will stick together until the end, regardless of what happened. So swali ingine nataka kuuliza.
You just get it from me. Matiang'i will remain on the group. Matiang'i will remain. Because of Uhuru and other things will remain. Gachagua is going to remain. The person here at the weakest point is Kalonzo Musyoka. I can tell you that for free. And that's what I said. And I said to you guys before, I've told you, for me, I think Kalonzo at this point should go back and take care of the wife. The wife is really sick.
What does weak mean? What does weak mean?
What's that?
What does weak mean? You are saying Kalonzo is weak. What does weak mean? Weak in terms of getting new supporters, getting
No,
a
the
bid
weakest
for.
thing that if he's left out, he might be the one who's breaking out. He's going to run by himself to spoil the forts. Atasema na yeye anaenda kuwania hapo what he has done before. But Matiang'i cannot do that. Matiang'i will stick with the opposition. Yes, I think Kalonzo mzee ataenda huko anasema atapitia katikati tena.
Kupitia katikati.
Yes, I mean, but I also say at this point, because Kalonzo has some other issues. The wife has been very sick for a long time. If I was him, that's why he doesn't have enough time like campaigning. Let him take care of the wife. Maybe then from there the campaign will come by itself. But at this point, I think I'm kind of, to me, if he's on top of the ticket, he can win, but he's going to win very with a small margin, or he will lose with a small margin because people are. I mean, he's not bringing no new votes. They know him. People like it's the same thing, same people, same. Even if we are united against Ruto, but I was saying, if Sifuna is on top of the ticket with Matiang'i, that is a new crop of new people. Like people be excited. Now what watafanya wanaenda people will be excited. There'll be excitement. You know, I need excitement that the country is going to have something new or whatever. But Kalonzo amekuwa hapa makamu wa rais. He has been there running mate of Papa. People people are tired. No. But if it's Sifuna and Matiang'i or Matiang'i Sifuna, or even if it means somebody else like Didi Nyoro, it will be a new thing, Bwana. What watasema, you know what? Now this is the right thing. Let's try this one here. Everybody loves something new, but Caroso is okay, but he's not bringing nothing new to the table. Yeah, that's my opinion. But it doesn't mean that I'm against him. I'm not against him.
So, in other words, you are saying Kalonzo should accept the prime minister position. Is that what you mean?
Well,
unajua ile position alikuwa amepromisiwa na Raila Odinga the other time.
Umesemaje?
Ile position alikuwa tu bado apewe na Raila. Powerful. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what or the Attorney General or they give him as the speaker.
And will Kalonzo allow him to accept such a position?
Yeah, he has no choice. He has to. That's what now it's a solution to accept it. Yeah. So I think Matiang'i can accept that. The council could be a running mate. He can be the first VP. I don't have a problem. Matiang'i can be hiyo mambo ya msali. Matiang'i can take that one. That's okay. But leave soon on top of the ticket and with the election very quick.
Anyway, ni sawa. So I'm just trying to ask like
what I mean, then we can talk.
Naye Ruto unaona anajipanga aje because sasa for Kindiki ni kama kandi yake ingiani yuko and you still need a very powerful deputy president. So Kindiki ataenda mpaka kwa debe?
I think at this point, I think if Sifuna is top of the ticket, Kasong is not going to run. I keep on telling you guys, he will not run. He's going to lose. And if you realize that, he's not going to run. You try to come up with to sponsor somebody else to run. That's the way I think at this point.
So you think Kasongo is not for the election? Kasongo tu ni kudildana na dildana. Ndiye anatuibia hivyo
Yeah. So if Sifuna runs, let's say VP Kalonzo Musyoka and Gachagua, Matiang'i support them, everybody supports him, it's over. He will not run. He will try to come up with a way of trying to have his own people, but he will not be part of the candidates. Maybe he will bring Kindiki in Bring and that one. He thinks that there's this thing. He thinks that because Kindiki comes in, he can win the election. It's not going to win. People have decided. People have made up their mind. Anything to do with Kasongo is out of the picture. People have decided. But he tried to ride somebody else. Maybe you bring people like you mess up. Pengine aleta Wetangula ama Musalia Mudavadi naye aharibu kura, so it equalizer, and he would have his own team. So watakuja ba wasema watakuja kama protect. That's the only thing which is left for them. If Sifuna is on top of the ticket, that's the way I read their mind. He will not run. He will be embarrassed. He will be embarrassed big time.
Do you think Sifuna can produce a Kibaki moment na anaweza chunga kura zake?
Sifuna could produce his own moment. Kibaki moment yake ilikuwa produce na Raila bana. Let's be sincere.
There was a Kibaki moment in 2002 when he got almost 68% of the votes. That was a Kibaki moment. Do you think now we are now on the verge of having a guy actually who can get 60 plus in Kenya, because 60 plus of votes is really amazing in Kenya?
Sifuna will get more than that. Sifuna will be 60 to 70%. Yeah, you ticket of Sifuna will go beyond that. But there's some other factors. There's not. Kuna vitu vingine money factor, a lot of things. But at this point, I think Sifuna has a very good ground. He can take more than. He will get 60, more than 60%. It will be a landslide, my friend. It will be a landslide. It was Sifuna. It's going to be a landslide. Yeah? It will be something you've never seen before. I'm telling you, people will come up, new voters, new people you never see, never voted before. They will come to the system because they want to be part of something.
Okay, sawa. Yeah. So me, I'm interested to see how they will tie up together after the two guys are known. So that's what I'm interested in. How the opposition will tie up together after we have known the two guys on top of the ticket. Yeah, Roba, mimi sina nguvu ya kuendelea tena. I think you can give your closing remark. Ama nicheze Chris kumekucha for the purposes of those who are in, and we call it a day.
Okay, that's fine. We can call it a day. And I think I will engage you tomorrow too, sometime.
Yeah, let me look for Chris to kumekucha.
Okay.
And we do his video and we say that's our last video today. Oh, kwani Chris hana video? Ruto's Rift Valley secret. Game changer. Let me game changer Gachagua hapa. Let me to na Helen Watoya anauliza ati what's with the witchcraft going on in Mwingi? I'm not understanding that. Let's listen to this one.
The Ruto administration has a very big problem in the Rift Valley. You heard me right. President Ruto has a huge problem right inside his political bedroom. Now, before we go into what the problem is, I just want to remind us, so that we are very clear on this, that there is a very huge difference between what you're supposed to see, what you must see as per the government's opinion, and the actual reality on the ground. There are very few times that those two things have been the same as far as Kenya is concerned since the Ruto administration came into power. For instance, the Uhuru Kenyatta administration, with all its issues, there were very many times when what they wanted you to see and the reality on the ground were the same thing. Even when a misfortune hits the opponents, they still want you to see it as much worse than the reality. That is just Ruto politics. It is deep in the DNA of Ruto politics, and it cannot change. Now, where is that famous notebook of mine, or is it infamous? There is something I want to share with you that will bring everything into perspective about what I'm about to say. Today, yeah, where is it? Here it is. And this information came in just a handful of months ago. Here goes. At that time, deep inside the inner circle of President William Samoei Ruto, there was a very strong feeling that it would be in the best interest of the Ruto administration, for the simple reason that intelligence reports at the time from the intelligence community showed clearly that if Gachagua was in a position to vie for the presidency, it would really mix up the opposition in the efforts of getting one candidate to face President Ruto. Analysis from the intelligence community showed very clearly that Gachagua in the running would present a huge challenge to the opposition in coming up with a single candidate for the unified opposition. I believe this information must have leaked to the Gachagua camp. Why? Because of the way they were behaving. They made their supporters look very much forward to the ruling on his impeachment, which happened a few days ago. They were very enthusiastic about it. They were really looking forward to it. And then very suddenly, all this information is in the public domain, by the way. Then very suddenly, things changed in the Gachagua camp. In fact, his lawyers asked for an adjournment on the ruling. I'm sure you remember that. And they even went beyond that and predicted the outcome, the ruling, before it was made. And of course, they were 100% accurate, meaning that they knew what was going to happen. Don't forget, all this is linked to the big, huge problem Ruto has in his own Rift Valley backyard. So clearly something changed concerning this Gachagua Manenos in court. And I believe I need to remind you about something so that we're all very clear here. President William Ruto has never lost an election during his entire political career. There is no seat he has vied for that he has failed to get. Okay? Not one. Also, there is no case that has gone against William Samoei Ruto his entire life in public office. Not one. Including the one where people are very sure he has been nailed because it was claimed that the evidence was overwhelming. The witnesses were many. The case at The Hague. He still ended up winning that one. Now, believe it or not, this is not a good situation for any politician. It is better as you go along to lose some and you win some. Why? Because history shows us very clearly that when you win too much, you're setting yourself up for a very major loss that will end your career, that will prove to be your downfall. Adolf Hitler, Alexander the Great, Napoleon, etc., etc. The list is too long. In other words, when you keep on winning everything, you're setting yourself up where you're going to lose, where it really, really matters to you and to your legacy and to the future of your beloved family. Oh yes, not me saying, history talking. So why did the Ruto inner circle change? Why did things change so suddenly? The simple answer, this problem I'm talking about in the Rift Valley. That is what caused everything to change. So what is this problem in the Rift Valley? I'll not keep you in suspense anymore. And let me start with figures to prove what I'm saying. In 2022, it is said that Ruto got approximately 2.5 million votes from the Rift Valley. And in the final tally, he beat Raila, allegedly, by slightly over 230,000 votes. 230K only. That was the difference. But those 2.5 million votes from the Rift Valley were clearly the foundation of the Ruto victory. Now imagine this shiny, solid, tall building standing, and then you remove the foundation. What will happen? The whole building will come crashing down. There is nothing that can survive without a foundation, okay? And therefore, in this case, Ruto, without a solid 2.5 million votes from the Rift Valley, cannot stand anywhere. Yeah, two-term becomes a very distant mirage. Now, please bear with me. I'm really, really resisting the temptation, yeah, to announce it to you the way I have before, that actually the truth is Ruto has already lost the Rift Valley. Kabisa. Okay, I'm avoiding that. And therefore, bear with me as I go step by step to show you the evidence. Now, Rigathi Gachagua has already told us that what will happen in the next election is that the opposition will share the Rift Valley vote by approximately 50-50. Half of the Rift Valley will go to the opposition and half will go to Ruto, according to Rigathi Gachagua. And the truth is, this is very factual. Gachagua so far has never been wrong. Okay? We look forward to the time he'll be wrong, but so far he has never been wrong. Now remember what I said earlier about what the government is very determined that you see and the actual reality as we go into this next section. Now, towards the end of last year, former Baringo senator and son of Kenya's second president, Gideon Moi, declared his interest in the senatorial seat, which fell vacant when that senator passed on. The reaction from State House was immediate. They moved with such speed that most Kenyans were blinded. President Ruto did something that nobody expected. He invited his longtime arch rival, Gideon Moi, into State House for discussions and obviously deal making. I believe we all know that the reaction of Gideon Moi supporters, they were very furious. But let's cut Gideon some slack. There is plenty of evidence that many Gideon Moi businesses have been deliberately frustrated by this government. So much so that a handful of those businesses are on their deathbeds. And so deep in State House, after the deal was done and Gideon was happy, he was satisfied that he was going to save a couple of his businesses, he asked Ruto a simple question. How am I going to break this news to my supporters? Ruto's response, don't worry, I will do it. Let's go. And they went to Kabarak. I'm sure you remember that. Now, what was State House so desperate about stopping? Because definitely, this is what it was all about. Stopping a crisis, stopping something. Let's not speculate. Let's see what happened next and we'll get our answer. The by-election happened and the UDA candidate, a youthful UDA candidate, won. And then what happened after that is that Ruto reneged on the deal he made with Gideon Moi. And Gideon Moi was furious. And he has come out and he has told us clearly that he was conned. And there's something else Gideon Moi has told us. He has said in public that he's looking for the right forum and the right opportunity to tell the Turgen community and the larger Kalenjin community exactly what transpired in that meeting in State House with Ruto that caused him to withdraw from the race. And whatever he's going to say will definitely shock the entire community. Now, there's something which happened yesterday, or is it the day before, that is very explosive and confirms and reconfirms what we're saying here. Yeah. So be patient with me. I will come to that. And you'll be so shocked when you put it all together. You will not believe. And so it is safe to say State House was so desperate that they made a deal which they knew very well they were not going to honor. Why? so as to remove Gideon Moi from the mix. Now, why was that so important? Hold on to that question. You'll be able to answer it for yourself very shortly. Now, we know that the most populous sub-tribe of the Kalenjin community, the Kipsigis, have had serious problems with Ruto for a long time now. And this was expressed very loudly by the immediate former Emurua Dikir legislator, the late Yohana Ngeno. And Kenyans heard very clearly how the community was speaking, the Kipsigis. At the man's funeral, Kenyans saw Rigathi Gachagua hold a very successful rally where he was received with a lot of enthusiasm, in Bomet, Kipsigis country. And so it was rather obvious how the Emurua Dikir by-election was going to go. UDA were not going to be anywhere.
If I die, I'll be worth over $2.5 million, actual generational wealth. Here's exactly how I...
Near winning, that was rather obvious. But what happened? UDA were declared the winners. Well, now we know what happened. Money was thrown at that problem. Everything was purchased, including the so-called opposition candidate. Where have you seen somebody who has just lost an election smiling and even happier than the person who has actually won the election? You umeona wapi? Where have you seen that? Well, I personally saw it for the very first time in Emurua Dikir. I have never seen anything like that in my entire life of analyzing hard politics. I believe now you're seeing the pattern very clearly. This administration is very desperate to make sure that Kenyans don't see the deep cracks in the Rift Valley as far as support for Ruto is concerned. Well, according to most analysts, they call it deep cracks. I Kumekucha Chris call it his support in the Rift Valley, Ruto support. Poof! It's all gone. Imeenda na imeenda kabisa. And now the very latest development. Former Nandi Hills legislator, Alfred Keter, has joined, wait for this one, he has joined the Linda Mwananchi faction. Now, please let us not be so naive as to believe this is just one individual who has made a decision. No, there is nothing like that. Alfred Keter has moved to Linda Mwananchi with all his supporters, who are very many right across the Rift Valley, with his networks, with his information, with his knowledge. Everything has moved to Linda Mwananchi. According to me, that is the final nail on the UDA coffin in the Rift Valley. In hard political analysis, we usually see this as a sign. And it has happened many times before in Kenyan history. When George Saitoti left KANU and joined Raila Odinga's LDP in the run-up to the historic 2002 general elections, what happened after that is that the floodgates of defections opened. Everybody moved into LDP. All the KANU bigwigs moved. Even Kalonzo Musyoka moved after that into LDP, the man whom many were sure would never leave KANU. More recently, we saw it when William Ruto, then the deputy president, moved out of Jubilee and formed UDA. Do you remember what happened? The floodgates of defections from the Jubilee party happened after that. And so this Qatar move is exactly the same thing. It is a sign. It is definitely going to open the floodgates of defections away from Ruto in the Rift Valley. Kwisha maneno. I believe now we understand and we realize how huge this problem is. Money was thrown at Emurua Dikir, and covered that up. Somebody was fooled in Baringo and covered that up. But are these cover-ups sustainable? Of course not. This is politics. And we know the mood in the country right now. Hey, things are too hot for it to be sustained. I believe this is the problem that keeps Ruto awake at night. I also believe this is the problem that caused the inner circle of the president to change their minds about Gachagua. It changed everything so that any inch given to Gachagua would be a very huge risk in exposing what's really happening in the Rift Valley. Very telling, because what they're actually telling us is that that risk to them is much higher. You cannot compare it to the risk of the opposition having a single candidate. That's what it means. Please remember to check in the description area for a very latest amazing offer. What I can tell you is that you will not believe. Yeah, it's also repeated in the comments area below on this video on YouTube. Until next time, this is Chris Karaoke Kumekucha.
Sawa, Stone PK, you can tie up your discussion with that. Unaweza jibu Mboro. Patrick Mboro anasema Matiang'i Sifuna. We tie it up and we call it a day. Are you there, Kiora? Stone? Stone, hi. Okay. Sina budi. Indigenous ananiambia nikuwe careful on my pronunciation. Pronunciation ya maneno ama? Okay. Sawa. Okay, names, eh? Okay. Oh. Yeah, Indigenous ananiambia nikuwe careful na majina. No, there is a guy, sinaona watu anaitwa nani? There is a guy here called Mboro. Yeah, Patrick Mboro, 3643. Then kuna Kiora. So I don't know which name I'm pronouncing badly. Huyo. Okay, sawa. I think we can call it a day. Appreciate it. Kesho ni siku.